John, go ahead and hit that shit.
Yay.
God damn it.
We're a little... Do it over again.
The viewer just saw me sticking fingers in my orifices.
Your orifices?
Orifices.
Orifices.
Hello and welcome to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon. It is the 6th of January, 2023. New year, new us, baby.
Isn't this the anniversary of the thing, or was that January 5th? I don't remember which day.
It is the anniversary of the thing. We'll talk about that briefly.
Hell yeah.
But before we do that, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Michael Deebs. I'm the host of this podcast. I am joined, as usual, by Danko Suvin from the Instagram handle @DankDeluz. And also John, the producer, who is so good at producing, he never charges his camera batteries so that he can appear on screen.
The question is, why do you have a camera that requires a battery?
Because
it takes
that's what I had available.
What's going on with you?
You wanted me to also buy a webcam?
Yeah, kind of, but whatever, man. That's fine.
Why would you have one that requires battery to begin with? That's the question.
I had a camera.
It's like one of those fancy cameras that you take pictures with.
Oh, it's like it's not that it's so shitty it requires batteries. It's that it's so good it requires batteries.
Yeah, it's like a Tesla.
Okay. Yeah, and it can't run while it's being charged either.
You think that getting charged would make you run?
Yeah, no. This one.
It's a joke that I made a funny.
We're very proud of you.
Yeah, I laughed a lot.
Yeah, well, the listener did, obviously.
John, I bet there's like some kind of adapter you can buy that you can actually just like plug it straight into your camera and it'll run off of like 120 volts, but neither here nor there. I'm not here to figure out the producer's tech for him, Anyways, starting with John. John, how are you doing? How was your time off for the holidays? Give it to us, baby.
It was much needed. I was starting to send in bomb threats to my workplace before the vacation. This one and my real world one.
I did get the bomb threat and from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
You're welcome. I did order the supplies, haven't put them together, so I'm feeling better, so no need to worry about that. Yeah, I went camping actually. I went camping for a few days.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah. And then the bomb threats just left me.
Usually when people go camping, the bomb threats get more serious, but
it's
different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Well, there's a steep drop off, and that it increases over time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you build a cabin out there for long-term camping, and Danko, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine. I'm bad.
Okay, well, you want to?
Yeah, what, elaborate or
expand on that? Elaborate. Make bomb threats about it.
Yeah.
No.
Just make bomb threats.
For legal reasons, no.
For legal reasons, I will not be making actionable threats on this podcast.
but I did get some really beautiful packaging with little Christmas trees and stuff on it. So that'll make what's to come very fun.
What's to come, indeed. Speaking of what's to come,
me. It's me.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm gonna
It's the anniversary of January 6th, which is kind of like the new July 4th.
It's like 9/11 and July 4th wrapped into it.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the has there been like a cultural tradition that's been established for how we celebrate this holiday, or
Well, it's the same thing we do with all the holidays, except for the religious ones, right? Which is you barbecue.
oh, okay, good. All right,
Gotta
next
grill.
year I'll have a barbecue set up.
Yeah, we grill ourselves into centrism, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you're so fucking sick of all this shit and all these meaningless holidays representing
you
these
grill a
things.
piece of ham if you catch my meaning.
That's
That's a cop joke. Cool.
What?
Oh, because ham comes from pigs and yeah, cops are sometimes.
Oh, Luke in the
called.
chat. I didn't know White House was touring. That's a joke.
That's a bad joke too. White House is a band.
It is.
Nobody asked. I'm doing good, actually. Don't
Are
click
you
on
actually?
it yet. What?
Are you actually?
I am actually doing pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Don't
What's
click
that?
on
What's
the
that
next
like?
link, John. But announcement. I should have like queued up a sound for that, but I forgot. I also forgot to make a graphic until like 5 minutes before we started. So.
Oh my god.
Managed to get that squeaked right on in. Big news for the dungeon. The dungeon will be moving soon to an undisclosed location in Virginia. I'm making this announcement on the 6th because the reason I'm moving to the state of Virginia is to be closer for January 6th, 2024, when hopefully this time the Patriots do it for real this time. That's not true, but I am actually moving to Virginia. That part is true, and I'll be moving in late May. So at the beginning of May, the podcast is going to take a break while I prepare for a cross country move. But yeah, so I bought a house out there. It's a fixer upper. So I've got big plans for it. There's going to be a lot of work that goes into it. John, if you would click on the first link here.
It's his address.
it's my address. So I'm gonna be launching a new channel. I've already made the channel, so nobody could take this from me or anything. But yeah, get off your fucking computer. Yeah, so I'll be launching a new channel. We talk about building stuff a lot on this podcast, and now I'm gonna be actually able to show how to like build things as I work on this house. I'll be doing how-to videos, basic electrical sort of videos, tinkering on shit videos, etc. But that channel won't be seeing any use until June sometime. But just wanted to go ahead and throw it out there that the rehab empire is expanding. We're moving into the housing business. So that's the big news for tonight.
It's funny because I feel like most psyops or psy operatives own houses in Virginia.
Yeah, well, it's pretty close to Langley, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it Langley and Quantico? Yeah. It's going to be so easy to get to black bag you. The handler's not even going to have to buy an airplane ticket.
Yeah. I'm hoping that I how you like bring your own bag to the grocery store. I'm hoping that I can get a nice bag for myself and just kind of like hang it in my doorway so that when they come to black bag me yet again, this time I don't get, because the material they use, it's like this burlap stuff and it like makes my skin itch.
Oh yeah, it's terrible, right?
So I'm gonna get myself like a nice suede black bag or something that feels real nice on the skin.
Yeah, everyone's always talking about black bags, but they're very rarely black. They're just like they're twine. Yeah, they're kind of tan
Yeah.
colored. So, you know, kind of pointless. Are you gonna Lisa Novak your way over there? That's an old reference.
You know what? I don't. Is she the one that like drove cross country, like shitting herself and stuff?
Yep, she was
Yep.
the astronaut who wore
Okay.
diapers.
Okay. I did get the reference then. All right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
answer to
gonna
the
have to
question.
poop sock pretty hard to make that drive, I think. You know, you and I did the drive from San Diego to Milwaukee, and that was an adventure. It took us what, like three solid days of driving. So
Yes.
this time I'll have a U-Haul and I'll be towing a car. So I assume probably like five good days of driving to get
That
all the
sounds
way to
right.
Virginia.
Hopefully, I'll be able to join you to just film you the whole time.
Yeah, we'll do something with it maybe if you're available, but if not, that's cool too.
There's sorry. There's someone in the chat that's going hardcore to the mega,
Yeah.
and that's a good reminder that you and I have both just played, and I assume both recently finished Disco Elysium.
That is correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
we slept on this one for a long time. Over the Christmas break, I saw it was on sale for real cheap on Steam, so I picked us up both a copy. And how did so you beat it? How did you feel about it?
Great game. I don't want to spoil absolutely anything for anyone with this one. But yeah, really, really good. I would summarize it as just a man who deterritorializes too much and then is stuck in a town full of big aliens.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of pretty clever little what am I looking for here? Theory references in there.
Yeah.
A lot of there was some CCRU stuff that I caught in there, definitely. Obviously a lot of like Marxist theory, a lot of
Yeah.
Hegelian theory.
Like it's really good. It definitely has a huge amount of theory kind of baked into it, which was not entirely expected. I knew that it was going to deal a lot with like political economy stuff and like historical materialism, and that's mostly what it deals with. So it's talking about like their version of Marx and stuff quite a lot. And there's a really funny like series of like racist subplots. But the stuff that they touched on that was like straight up Deleuzian, because your character is himself like essentially he starts off as a body without organs and then is just trying to like reterritorialize his person, which is really fascinating, and he's like literally schizophrenic essentially, and so it's these people have to have read Deleuze, I feel like.
Without a doubt, there's so much to pick up on in that.
Yeah.
But the way they kind of obscure it is it's set in a different world, and the way that they obscure it is by like, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler, but the version of Marx in this world is called Krasmazov.
Right.
It's very obviously Karl Marx, just given a different name, but it's a different world, so they like made all these clever little names for it. One of my favorite things that hasn't been able to leave my brain is that the slur for people with glasses is binoclard.
Oh yeah.
So Bino is in like binocular, and then Clart, I guess, is just their version of retard in this world.
I think my well they add the suffix "ard" to all sorts of things like communard instead
Right,
of
yeah.
so which is also I think supposed to make it sound derogatory, just like you're saying. I would love to in fact I kind of have a plan, but I haven't asked you yet, so I'll ask you live and then you can reject me.
All right.
But on this Truncata podcast, I wanted to have you and someone else who I won't name right now come on to talk about Disco Elysium.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, but
we'll save the rest of that talk for then, I guess. But
yeah,
go ahead.
But it's a great game. It's really solid.
Yeah,
And
the narrative style is really good. It's basically all narrative.
yeah, the voice acting is phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's not narrative in a boring way. It's not like one of those what do you call the Telltale games. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah,
played those. It's not boring like that. There's not very much like true action in it, but there's a lot of kind of mapping out how you want a conversation to go, and
right.
it's not like a lot of RPGs where you have your dialogue tree and you can just kind of like cycle through each option and there's like no repercussions for it. If you say something dumb, like you can set yourself back in a conversation and like kind of fuck up your chances of like getting information out of somebody or like being able to talk to them like a normal person. Um, so it's pretty fun. It puts a lot more into, and then so like the narrative structure is a lot talking to other characters in the game, but then a lot of it is like an internal dialogue that the character is having with himself as he like is responding to stuff that's happening, which
Yeah,
I thought was a
different
really neat
facets of his
way.
persona
Yeah.
uh, have different voices and personalities and stuff, and are speaking to one another. And it's I despite being someone that likes to read and likes playing role playing games, and in fact prefers the like human interaction end of the role playing games more than the like action parts of them usually. Like I like drama heavy role playing games.
Sure.
Uh, I don't like video games like this very often. Like I need to be able to kill things. I need to just be a murder machine when I play video game for the most part. Like I don't like walking simulators and things like that. And so,
Yeah,
but
I would have
this blew
hated
my
this
mind. It was
game.
great.
Yeah, I would have hated this game if the narrative wasn't so good. Like
Yeah,
they really had to be good at that. Otherwise this game would suck. And since
yeah, and the
they
leveling
nailed
is
it.
just really satisfying, and just everything about it is just really, really good. And any of the complaints I'm gonna save for later for a lot of reasons, um shit, no, I lost what I was gonna say. I my sleep schedule has been just fucked recently, more so than usual, and my
Right.
sleep schedule is pretty bad to begin with. And so I tried to fix it by essentially just not sleeping last night. So my brain is fucking goo.
That's what I did Thursday night. And then
Yeah,
I wasn't able to stay. Well, I guess I did it Wednesday night, and then like Thursday night when you were having the office hours for Trincata, I was straight up just like dozing off. Not because you guys
yeah.
are boring or anything. I was just nope. Baby's got to sleep now. Um, but anyways, that's the big news. We'll move
Yeah,
on
big
from.
news. Disco Elysium, good game. That's the news.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. I remembered the one thing that I want to point out, which is that there are a couple moments of action in it. I don't know how optional they are because I've only played through it one time, but there are a couple points of action in it that I played through, and those were like actually thrilling, even
Yeah.
for something that's essentially just click what you're going to say or what you're going to do,
It was
which I
very
find people really
it kind of reminded me
yeah.
about like how Call of Cthulhu like encounters work.
Yeah, yeah. Like my heart was really pumping during those moments. It was a refreshing type of media experience.
Wonderful. So,
Yes.
Disco Elysium, good game. We'll talk about it on the Trincata podcast, I guess. And also I bought a house and I'm moving. So, that's also kind of a lead into the first subject I wanted to talk about tonight, which is how bad things are getting in California as far as homelessness is concerned.
Oh, homelessness. I thought you were going to mention one of the many other things.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I thought you were going to bring up the weather. Climate.
The weather has been rainy, but honestly, that's better in the long term for
Yeah.
California because our reservoirs have been reaching all time lows for the last 5 years consecutively, or more
I'm
probably.
I'm jealous of you guys right now because we like the whole US, I guess, is getting these crazy storms right now, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
But
not evident that climate change is having some kind of
right.
impact on weather patterns.
But we were supposed to get a really extreme blizzard come through here right before Christmas, and I was kind of excited for it. And it like rained. It snowed pretty heavy for one day, and then it was gone. And we were supposed to be the ones that really got fucked. Meanwhile, you guys get to have all this chaotic rain, and I'm sure people died in Oregon or whatever when it snowed. But I'm jealous. I don't know if people died, but
yeah,
I
guess
just
some
imagine
people
they
died,
had to.
whatever. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been raining pretty consistently for the last week. But anyways, John, go ahead and go to the first link here. I saw this clip over, and I guess we'll just talk through this ad. But I saw.
Oh hell yeah, Genshin Impact.
Oh my gosh.
I still don't even know what that is. I guess I'm learning what it is now by watching
it. My partner keeps telling me that I should play it, but I refuse to. On principle at this point.
That's
I'm toxic.
Whoa, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It just doesn't seem like my kind of game.
I'm disappointed in your partner, you think?
Oh, don't say that. That's not nice.
I don't know. Like Genshin Impact, I know nothing about this thing, but I feel like I should look down on her for playing Genshin Impact.
She doesn't. She just recommended it to me without.
Oh, really? She doesn't play it? She's telling you to?
Yeah.
That's actually an awesome move. Never mind.
Yeah.
You're
Chad.
Hey, you're dumb. Play that game.
Just try to ruin your life.
Refresh this page real quick, John. I don't think this is the video that I wanted. And refresh that, please. There we go. That's the one. So I saw this clip after we took our break during the holidays, and I thought the way that this reporting was done was sincerely kind of just demented. Of course, it's talking about the homeless crisis, but it's in the frame of think of the poor tenants and landlords having to deal with this problem now. That's at their doorstep. So go ahead and roll this clip, John. Oh, now we gotta go through another Genshin Impact ad. Thank you so much.
Maybe you should just buy it.
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
Yeah, because famously ads stop when you buy a product.
Right. San Diego's homelessness crisis is having a profound impact on both people living on the streets.
John, you are echoing so hard right now.
Am I?
Yeah, like horribly.
Oh, that's because let me see.
They'll let you hear.
What?
What about now?
Well, he feels that out. It is true actually that buying something stops you from getting as many ads about it. In the same way that if you give a man some pussy, he leaves you alone. Which I have much experience with, giving strange men pussy.
I was gonna say, who was who in this arrangement?
No,
is the market a man and you're the pussy, or like okay, good.
Men love cats, you know.
And men do love kitties.
Real men.
Wow, real men. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm dating a dog person right now, and yeah, so I feel
like half dog, half person, or
yeah, like a furry. And I've realized that I'm a cat person, so that's how I'm gendering things now. Because I feel like usually when you gender that animal dichotomy, it's usually like dudes are the dogs and ladies are the cats. But I
often say that about dudes. I'll be like, "Yo, dog."
Yeah, see, exactly. Whereas no one ever calls me a cool cat. You certainly don't. So what you should be doing is calling me a cat, a cool cat and calling your girlfriend dog.
Okay, that won't work.
I've implied, I accidentally implied I'm dating your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which why not?
I didn't take it that way, but
we're all in a cuddle puddle now.
Oh, let's
don't worry about it.
Many such podcasts have ended in this way.
In accidental toxic polycules.
John, are you ready to play this clip yet?
yeah, no, I've been waiting on you guys fucking just going
and
on.
the people living and working near unhoused people. For some people living.
So I hear the echo too, so I'm pretty sure that's not me.
I don't know, man. It's lighting up your screen whenever it happens.
Oops.
Downtown, the situation has gotten so bad they want to leave the area and are willing to even break their leases.
All right.
Your unedited podcast wonder. Friday. Listen to us fix our echo problem again.
Yeah, no, I just muted myself, and it was still echoing. Yeah.
Danko, sorry. Docs, Dodo.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that to you, but I'm an R word and I was still muted.
I wasn't able to hear what you were accusing me of. Are you saying that this is my fault?
It may be, yes.
It's an interesting take. Well, I'll just shut up and I'll never talk again. Go ahead.
Okay.
Play it. Just play it.
Good.
I don't even care. You're not my real dad.
Time-consuming, it can also be costly. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe joins us live in studio tonight with the option that tenants have in this situation. Rocio?
It's a tough situation, and as we know, downtown San Diego has one of the biggest congregations of unhoused individuals. Some people we spoke to say they're simply tired of dealing with it every day when they walk outside their door and want a way out of their leases. And while to them it might seem like they're stuck, one legal expert says that's not entirely the case.
Fred Altman is among the many San Diegans who call downtown home. But Altman says he and his family are considering moving out due to issues he says come with the homelessness crisis.
I've seen overdoses, I've seen stabbings, I've seen people dying on the sidewalk.
The biggest reason we wanted to break our lease is just the safety of ourselves.
I also spoke to this woman who didn't want to show her face, but says when she first moved to San Diego from overseas, she never expected the crisis to be as bad as it is.
It's a little scary for me to just be with my daughter alone.
She and others like Altman are currently looking at options to break their lease, but it comes at a price.
I can't justify $5,000 to be spent just like that, just to move to a different location right now.
Juanita Guillen-Melman, a landlord and tenant attorney, says cases like Altman's and others are more common than not.
Can you pause real quick, John?
Calls just like that all.
Yeah.
Can I just point out the irony in being a landlord and a tenant attorney at the same time?
That is pretty fun.
No. I trust the wolf to guard my sheep, actually. he's a very friendly wolf. Go ahead.
All the time, you might not know what you're getting yourself into until you've actually signed the lease already.
And says it can be hard for people to break their leases because most properties are now adapting their contracts to protect themselves.
Maybe it's because of
like they weren't already like that.
A lot of leases that I'm seeing actually will have a clause that says, I, the tenant, acknowledge that I am aware of the surroundings.
Guillen-Melman says while the homeless crisis is not a valid reason for terminating a lease agreement, there are options.
Talk to the landlord and see if there's some sort of settlement agreement that they can reach where, you know, I, the tenant, pay the landlord 1 month's rent, 1.5 months rent. In exchange, the landlord releases me from any further obligation.
She says that's because the landlord is more than likely going to rent out the property fairly quickly due to the current high rental rates in the market. But in case negotiations don't work in your favor, she encourages people to reach out to an attorney.
And while each case is different, the lawyer encourages everyone in similar situations to have an open conversation with their property managers and present things in writing too, in an effort to try to limit the risk to both the tenant and the property managers. I mean,
So
Yeah.
do this is what I imagine, like all like local, well, I mean national news is like will be like this too, but like I don't know, maybe we could do something about the homeless crisis.
No, see the real problem here is that people are being subjected to human misery that they've caused. Not necessarily the tenants. I can understand why that's kind of a rough deal for the tenants on both sides, because you pay quite a significant amount of money to live in the downtown San Diego area, and
Oh yeah.
now you have to deal with like a sidewalk covered in human shit, because the very same people that you have to pay that exorbitant amount of money to have priced a bunch of people out of the market, and those people no longer have any place to be anymore, except for on the sidewalk. And since they have no other place to be except for on the sidewalk, they also have to shit on the sidewalk. We don't need to watch much more of that clip, I think. But you know, basically at the end there, the advice that's given is, first off, the homeless in this situation are treated as like, I don't know, some
Like
kind
herpes?
of they're treated as some kind of like unfortunate force of nature that just can't possibly be avoided. So now we have to figure out some kind of legal way to mediate this between tenants and landlords. And the advice that's given at the end is like, ask your landlord if they'll be cool about it, because they're likely to rent out the apartment quickly. Part of why a landlord might agree to this sort of thing is because you're allowed to, if you have an existing tenant, you're allowed to raise the rent a certain amount each year. If you are renting a lease to a new person, like this person hasn't leased from this building before, you can reset the price to whatever the new market standard high is. So essentially, if you decide to break your lease and agree to pay your landlord like a month and a half of rent or whatever, they get that month and a half of rent. They probably rent the apartment out before that month is up, and then they rent that apartment out at a higher rate than what you were paying to the landlord before. So that's why landlords would agree to that in the first place, is to basically continue fucking the market over. And this sort of practice and a bunch of other practices have kind of fucked the rental market in general in San Diego. So go ahead and click on the next link, which has some interesting information that I found. So the median rent for a single bedroom apartment in San Diego right now is $2,295.
Dear
shit.
Lord.
Yeah.
That is a one bedroom apartment. It says nothing to the quality of that one bedroom. There are plenty of real shitty apartments in San Diego that I was looking at while I was researching this, that are kind of around the $2,000 mark. That stat to the right of it, the year-over-year change, there's been a 10% increase every year since, like, I don't know, 2019 or something like that. Maybe even before that. I think it was like maybe 2017 when I was looking at it. So every year, for the last couple of years, rent has increased by 10% in San Diego. I don't know what your like yearly raise looks like, but mine certainly isn't a 10% raise every year. And so if you're already struggling to like make your rent payments because you're living in such an expensive area, and let's be clear, like you don't always get an option of where you live. Your job is in a place, and whatever job you have to like live within a certain distance of it. Otherwise you're commuting like 2 hours there and 2 hours back. You're kind of stuck renting in this location that has had a 10% increase every year for the last couple of years.
again compounded by inflation. Let's
Yeah,
not
right.
forget that.
And then, we have several other cost of living adjustments that need to be made on top of that. And so it's becoming almost impossible to live in San Diego, which is part of why I'm moving out of San Diego, because I see this vice closing around me. Even the shitty apartment I rent on the outskirts of San Diego has every year I pay a couple hundred more. It's ridiculous. So San Diego is by far not the worst place in Southern California when it comes to the homelessness problem. And again, the homelessness problem is caused by the landlords. It's
Right.
people being
The landlord problem.
the landlord. Yeah, right. There we go. That's a better way to say it. The landlord.
Here's a chapter Mal wrote.
The landlord problem has caused a homelessness crisis, and it's getting worse in San Diego. But nothing can possibly compare to L.A. So go ahead and click on the next link.
Yeah.
And your mouse. So this is an article from kcet.org. I forget what that stands for. Doesn't matter. But they do homelessness statistics and outreach and stuff like that. But the Greater Los Angeles homeless count was conducted over 3 nights in February, although the number of people experiencing homelessness in Los Angeles County grew to 69,144, roughly the population of Redondo Beach. And
holy shit.
Yeah, and 41,980 within the city of Los Angeles alone. It's possible to see an ever so slight positive shift. The increase across the county slowed to 4.1% from 2020. There was no count conducted in 2021 due to the pandemic. The previous 2 counts produced jumps of 13% and 12% respectively. If you scroll down and zoom in a little bit, John.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a graph that shows the rising homelessness in LA County. The top one is the county total, and then you've got the unsheltered, and then the city total, and then the city unsheltered. Unsheltered means that they're not even able to seek shelter in a homeless shelter. They're truly living...
no car or anything like that.
Yeah, not even a car or anything. They literally are just living on the street out in the open. So keep that graph kind of just take a little mental screenshot of that, and you see it's risen quite significantly. The graph starts at 2015, and you've got about 45,000 homeless people in 2015, and by the 2022 count, you have over 60,000, 69,000. Now it's being reported. Yeah, nice number. The sex number.
Love homelessness. It's sexy now. We finally did it, guys. We made homelessness sexy. It's been the goal of this podcast all along, actually.
Yeah,
to make homelessness sexy again.
So go ahead and scroll down to the next graph. You'll see a sort of correlative rise in cost here that somewhat matches the rise in homelessness. The median rent. Go ahead and scroll up to that little blurb right above the graph. So as Crosstown reported recently, with every $100 increase in median rent, there's a 9% rise in the estimated homelessness rate, according to a calculation by the U.S. Government Accountability Office. So direct correlation between people being priced out of their rents and now living on the streets.
Who'd have thunk? Yeah.
Yeah, who would have guessed? I meant to include another link that was kind of like the last one we looked at San Diego that showed the median price, but if I recall correctly, the median rent, so in San Diego it was what, 2,290 something. In LA it's 2,400 and some odd dollars, I think.
Jesus.
And that's I made sure to price this out for a single bedroom apartment. So the bare minimum you could possibly live out of, still need to pony up around $2,000. Maybe less if you want to live in like a really shitty apartment, but those aren't always open because everybody's trying to live in shitty apartments right now to save money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That and like I've had friends that I guess not that I made more money than them or anything, but I think it might have just been luck, or maybe just because I could look at a building and be like, oh yeah, no, that's why it's so cheap. It's fucking about to be condemned.
Yeah.
I've had like quite a few friends who like live in those cheap apartments, like have to suddenly be fucking relocated.
Yeah, and
which isn't easy, fucking, especially if the apartment fucking declares bankruptcy, or it takes 10 years for them to pay out your settlement for breaking the lease,
yeah, and it should be noted that a lot of these places are kind of like intentionally getting condemned. Developers want
That's
to,
cool.
yeah, developers want to. I know of at least one person this happened to, and maybe they're listening to the podcast tonight, but I know they have in the past. I don't know if they do it consistently. Yeah, their apartment complex basically got condemned on purpose by the property owner, so that they could, have cause to bulldoze the buildings and then build luxury condos in their place. Is kind of the end goal going on there. So
I mean, at least that's like evil enough to be funny,
sort of,
like,
yeah. It's not funny when you like the homeless person
No.
because of it.
Yeah.
No. But
But
at least
it is like
at least it's just so
diabolically-
extreme.
Yeah, it's diabolically like insane to the point that like, oh yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure my apartment complex can't house people so that I can bulldoze it and then build newer homes to a market I don't know even exists anymore, because all these luxury condo places are kind of fucking empty. There's a lot of empty luxury apartments being rented out, or being put on the market for 2,800 or so a month. And anything that calls itself a luxury apartment is usually full of shit. The place I'm living at, calls itself fine apartment homes or something like that.
Like how trailer parks are always called estates.
Right, yeah. Like some of these like expensive luxury apartment condo things, at least here in the city that I live in, is funny. There's a few articles about it. That a lot of these fucking luxury condos like were just like death trap, fucking like nuisance, fucking utility outage, fucking nothing's ever working, because they built a building and then just like, I don't know, just some like guy was operating it, not even like a company, like for like what's supposed to have like 1,500 people living in it in luxury.
Yeah, I mean,
and the buildings are made of plastic wrap to start with.
But the people who lived in these things were all like 22, 23-year-olds, like people who got tech industry jobs after college, and they're basically just kids like that are getting scammed. They're the first year they lived on their own.
Yeah.
You look at any of the, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past with like, I mean, you got Millennium Tower, that's luxury condos, and the fucking building is like on its way to falling over. You've got shit, what is it? 50 the real thin fucking square building in New York that I'm blanking on the name of right now, but They have constant issues with their elevators, which coincidentally is the only way that you can reach your apartment. They have
Yeah.
constant leaks. They have, you know, all sorts of issues that come with these buildings, because the name of the game is to run this at the thinnest margins possible in order to make the most profit that you can off of it. And then a lot of these luxury apartment complexes, they're built cutting as many corners as humanly possible. A lot of municipalities don't really have the manpower to like really be there inspecting these things start to finish. So, you know, they can spot check, but you know, the areas that get spot checked are usually the areas that the company wants them to spot check. And so it's like the one part of the the entire complex that's been made to code and has been made well. And then what they do after building all these cheap shit fucking homes is they just slap a bunch of real nice veneer on it, and it says nothing to like the underlying quality of the rest of the building.
Right. What was the name of that building in Florida that killed all those people?
It was a
Tower
bridge.
Plaza.
Well, there's also
There's
bridges too.
I only remembered the one about the bridge.
No, it's like an apartment complex. Sorry, Mike, what was it
I
called?
think it was called the Tower Plaza.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Oh yeah. No, now I remember, because we actually discovered that and the hurricanes have caused like a increase of not building technology, but like it's like tradesman research. Like that's what I mostly remember that is, for some reason.
That's funny.
that a bunch of building techniques that people were using fucking for the last like 40 years turns out they
garbage.
fucking they suck. Don't work. Might as well have thrown the wires in the dirt. Fucking made the fucking
that's the thing is, you know, the Tower Plaza collapse probably could have been avoided, but the problem is that, you know, all these maintenance operations are run at the thinnest margins, like I'm saying. And so you have like one or two guys that are like walking around, and they, you know, I'm not shitting on them in any way whatsoever, but you know, they're handyman guys, right? They know how to fix drywall. They know how to do a bunch of like trades to a certain degree. They know how to fix basic domestic sort of stuff.
It's the maintenance guy that can like fix your U-trap and then like wanders out. He patches walls. He paints over doors.
Jack of all trades, good at what he does, but
he's a welder that went through the academic trade school, which I'm pretty sure all welders have to do before they start working that are licensed. But he never actually worked as a welder. Like I know maintenance guys like that, which it's not good enough, but they're better maintenance guys for sure. But they shouldn't be building a building.
Well, and then the problem is
necessarily
what you need to have on site oftentimes is somebody who knows like actual structural engineering. And that was the problem with the Tower Plaza is you had all these like telltale signs that parts of the foundation were starting to get water intrusion, and this was weakening the rebar inside of the foundation. And you know, those signs were ignored because these guys know how to do, like I said, domestic maintenance, which is good, and they should be paid well for it. But you need somebody who specializes in structural engineering that can inspect the property on a routine basis. But you don't get that when you run these operations at the thinnest margins. That's a tangent, but
like I think even in Texas, it's like only like fire code gets reinspected.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing is there's a lot of maintenance inspections that are kind of automatic, right? If you have an elevator, usually the county you're in knows you have an elevator, and they send an inspector out whether you like it or not, because they don't want people to get trapped in an elevator. But there are some inspections that you like have to schedule yourself, and if you don't know about those inspections, you're not going to schedule them, because how would you? Like, you're not going to intuit a thing you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It sucks for bars in Texas for I think the last like 12 years or something. Because like in this state, like our inspectors, they're all officers of the state, you know, like they have ultimate authority like a cop does about whether or not they're going to arrest you. like they but it was the same thing with the liquor people. They were just like guys in polo shirts with badges, but I guess somebody decided to give them like a unit of cops everywhere that they are. And now cops can just do liquor license inspections and business inspections and harass fucking bars that they don't like.
I'm gonna say that sounds like some like Italian mafia shit.
Yeah, because it just used to be that like the TABC would order the cops to raid a bar because they broke the rules, but a TABC, like a civilian, made the decision. As opposed to like now, like cops are just part of, or certain cops are just part of the TABC. They can actually harass you.
That's great. We should give cops more power always.
Yeah. Over just being able to arbitrarily close down your business. Sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, you're good, man.
I've been thinking about cops lately.
Been doing some
how cool
cops.
they are.
Yeah. Another problem with a lot of these buildings too is I watch a lot of like real estate influencer videos because I hate myself, and I go into like a blind rage whenever I'm watching these things. And one of the ones I watched earlier today was this apartment in New York, which had obviously been like renovated at some point, and the way it was being sold was it's 3 apartments in one. And what that meant is that there was 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and of course like a shared kitchen area. Yeah, and the bedrooms were 9 feet by 10 feet.
Nice.
Wow.
But that's the kind of shit that landlords are pulling now and I see all the time in like local listings, people renting out single rooms for well over $1,000, and it's like you're only getting a single room. You have to share your bathroom and your kitchen with your landlord. Like that's fucking miserable. But you know, a lot of these like really fucking shady deals are popping up. And I see a lot of like you know what a granny flat is. It's like a building that you build in your backyard so that your mother-in-law or somebody can stay out there, and they have like their own place where they can be so that they're not in your house all the time. But I see a lot of people trying to rent those out as apartments, and then they like legally have to declare that this doesn't actually count as real legitimate housing because it doesn't have all the amenities that a house is supposed to have in order for you to be able to rent it out.
So
which is so funny.
I've seen these as a like a DIY like renovated spaces. I haven't seen new stuff go up.
Yeah, no, a lot of this is DIYer shit, and
oh, okay.
What I'll do is I'll pop onto those posts when I see them in like local Facebook groups, and I'll shit all over them because like you can just tell that the homeowner did it themselves and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and like you can look at like the grainy pictures that they took for their Facebook post, and you can like see the tiles are just all fucking out of line. There's like no consistent grout lines or anything like that. Uneven surfaces, and yeah, it's funny stuff, but also it's a depressing sign of where things are heading, especially in California. I think this is becoming a major issue where you can't fucking find like legitimate housing anymore. Unless you're like working a pretty high paying job. Like I don't want to get into my specific financials, but the place I'm currently living at, it's $1,750 a month for me to live here. And I'm not living in a nice place, as I'm sure Danko can attest to. It pretty much sucks.
It's not great.
It's not the worst place I've ever lived in because I've been homeless before, but
you'd also have to like so the standard is like you have to make 3 times as much rent as rent in order to not be like overburdened by it. And so
Lol.
You would have to make, like, let me see, for the average, if I'm remembering right, it was something like 2,200, right?
Yeah, $22.95.
Yeah, you'd have to. Well, yeah, if it's 2,295, you'd have to make more, but you'd have to make 80K as one person, which certainly isn't impossible in California if you're working the right job. But that's not going to be everyone, or not nearly everyone. It's pretty uncommon.
And I've talked about it before on the podcast. When I was working for a city before, I could not afford to live in the city I was working in. Even the cheapest apartments. Yeah.
So funny.
Even
like it sucks so much it's funny.
Yeah, the cheapest apartment, and I wasn't, just the lawnmower of the city or anything like that. I was a manager level employee of the city, and as a manager, I could not afford to live in the city I was working in.
Well, you don't let the help live in the house. You know?
I guess not, and we won't get into that tangent. But another thing that's kind of popped up as a symptom of the landlord problem, I guess, that's caused the homelessness crisis, is you get all this reporting about like how petty theft is like out of fucking control, right?
Oh my God. And it's legal in California now.
Yeah, they just let you come in, hold the cashier at gunpoint, and walk out with $5 billion every day. So let's go ahead and go to the next link, because I thought this was some pretty funny shit that, of course, the news is not going to report on, but and by the news I mean like cable news. Hit the X.
No.
Put the fucking reefer down for a second. I'm just kidding.
I was reading it.
You're reading the please pay us money advertisement.
Yeah, to make sure that it's a please pay us money advertisement. They used a trick that works on my mind specifically.
Yeah, they broke into your house and force fed you a bunch of marijuana.
No. Like it was like the same color as the article. It kind of had like a box shape, like the article.
It's fine.
Our society, the one that we live in, would be doing so much better if instead of people weeding, we had people reading.
Ooh. Damn, that's some deep shit.
It's either finish reading it or I'm broken, man.
No, what? Sorry, no, I wasn't. I actually wasn't listening to anything.
You got me.
That anyone said here.
I'm an R word.
All right.
So what I was actually saying is I hate manual laborers, and I think we should all be academics, and that no other job should exist. Everyone should just be reading books and not making anything. There should be no weeders, only readers, and we should let everything fall into disarray, and also marijuana. We need less of that.
Oh, less of that.
Yeah, I'm not some degenerate.
So this headline here that we're looking at, Walgreens famously was according to a lot of mainstream news, and a lot of people have been saying, oh, this was like a right-wing sort of talking point. No, it was also like a CNN talking point, an MSNBC talking point. Walgreens was going to have to shut some stores down because the theft problem was getting so out of control that they were having trouble keeping their doors open. This article that's come out, and quietly so, because I haven't seen any like mainstream reporting on this, but the headline reads, "Maybe we cried too much. Walgreens hints at exaggerated shoplifting surge." Financial chief. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I need to do this almost every time we have a headline, but I hate journalism grammar so much.
Yeah. It trips me up every time I try to read it too.
Yeah, like I'm not high, and I don't have any alcohol in the house right now. Right.
Same.
And I could not comprehend what that title meant for a minute.
You cried too much.
Because I was like, wait, is there like a pronoun or a conjunction that I'm missing? And it would have been improved if there was a conjunction in there, the word that. Because just Walgreens hints that it exaggerated shoplifting surge.
And they wouldn't have saved any space here. As you can see, they already had to do a second line for the rest of that.
Yeah, but it's this convention of journalistic grammar, and this is how they're supposed to write it, but it's insane. It's nonsense.
It's how they're supposed to write it like 100 years ago when they only had like a limited amount of paper. But now that everything's online, they can pretty much get away with like a 3,000 word headline if they really want to.
It could just be the article.
Yeah, it could just be.
No, this always happens. No, this is the exact form of writing. Like they drop these conjunctions and stuff, and I figure that it probably has something to do with space saving, but I think there's some other like psychological excuse that they use as well. I don't know.
Journalistic tradition,
right? But it's just insane. Like it just makes it confusing, and also I'm stupid.
It's kind of like a weird extremism of like, I guess like the spirit of sharing knowledge or things, you know. Like it technically gives you some information so that you can decide that, well, you know that this happened, but you're also going to decide not to read this article, you know, like, so you've gotten the information.
Yeah,
they don't need to do it because it's not like a guy yelling, like just yelling things that have happened in the county.
Extra. Yeah.
And then you're like, what happened there? Like fucking like 5 people ask that guy, you know, 5 different questions throughout the day, and that's how they get their news.
So yeah, I guess the point is to just inject as much information into your brain in as few words as possible. But if that's the case, just write everything in pidgin. Like don't even use that. And actually, this is so, I love doing this. But you can go on to pretty much any website, any news website, and find their pidgin version.
Yeah,
and it's fucking wonderful. It brightens up my day. It's so good. Anyway,
so
wait, which pidgin? Which one are you talking about?
Like
pidgin, like the language.
Yeah.
Isn't but like pidgin's not
it'd be like English pidgin. I mean, whichever pidgin you can read. I'm sure it's hilarious in German too, or like whatever language you do. But no, there's like English pidgin pages for most every like major news agency, which is wonderful.
Whoever does those translations has like the best job in the world, probably.
Yeah, it's a bird.
Yeah, actual pigeon. So the sub headline here is: Financial chief James Kehoe admits company may have overstated purported problem, which fueled right-wing outrage over crime. As I already stated, this was also a talking point on CNN, MSNBC, CBS. Fucking, I'm sure NPR probably had some dumb takes on this as well.
I'm pretty sure then you want all articles to be like those articles that are just that are just like outlines, like they're just like more and more like bullet point like sub thoughts of themselves.
Yeah, listicles. I need everything to be a listicle written in pidgin. That actually would rule.
Scroll down.
Hieroglyphics. Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's what I want. I just want a picture of like a cat and a picture of a politician, and the mood of the cat will determine how I'm supposed to feel about the politician.
Ooh,
and I want that
the
sent
cat's
in.
tail is straight. He doesn't like this politician. That politician's been naughty.
and I need that sent beamed directly into my brain every morning, right? Like as I'm waking up, you know.
What do the cats portend this day?
And then
or we could just do it could just be the pigeon. It could be the murmurations, right? We can do an augury with the birds, in order to
the reading
really,
of the pigeon.
yeah. There's something here, guys. There's a business opportunity.
And there is almost certainly nothing there. So a major U.S. drugstore chain that supposedly experienced a surge in shoplifting last year, fanning the flames of conservative outrage over a purported spike in crime and disorder, said on Thursday that it might have overstated the problem. Go ahead and scroll down to that quote. Maybe we cried too much last year when we were hitting numbers that were 3.5% of sales, Kehoe said, according to an earnings call transcript. We're down in the lower twos, call it the mid 2.5, 2.6 kind of range now. I would probably guess that it's actually lower than that, but you can't just call yourself an outright liar. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. There's a very important thing that we need to read in here. Keep going. So the chain, part of the Walgreens Boots Alliance, which apparently Boots is a person's last name, would shift.
No, that's a cat. That's
the cat. They consult. All right.
Yeah. Boots.
Mr. Walgreen, you agree to the decision, and Mr. Boots.
Fuck yeah.
So the chain, part of the Walgreens Boots Alliance, would shift more toward relying on law enforcement rather than private security companies, as the security companies are proven to be largely ineffective.
Well, yeah,
oh, shit. Hey, spoiler alert on the cops, also going to be ineffective when it comes to property theft.
What you got to do is hire Blackwater. You got to go the extra step where it loops back
really
into
their
private
bad.
again.
They didn't go as far as they needed to with the private security contractors.
We don't feel like we can rely on the police who are hiring triple canopy to come in here and murder children who are walking out with candy.
Canopy joke, yeah. Like, what we really need is some guy who's deranged himself after like going through the Cold War, thinking he's a badass, never seeing a single day of combat. He's incredibly out of shape. But he still somehow managed to stuff himself inside of a plate carrier at the Walgreens, and he's got an AR-15 that he never takes the safety off of.
We pay him $15,000 a month in order to reduce the store shrink by like 0.5%.
Yeah.
Well, shit. It's why the private security teams were ineffective is because they pay those guys like shit, and there's like one Stockholm syndrome having like older man who's just like so grateful that he's maxed out like the hourly pay rate of being a security guy at that company. But I'm pretty sure it's still cheaper to have the cops do it for you too. It's like a $400 permit, I think, in most cities.
I have another idea.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
It's a corporate subsidy because we pay Walgreens like the actual majority of the tab of Walgreens private, public now security.
But what about one of the problems you're going to see when you do something like that is you're going to start like really causing tension between the store and the community, right?
No, of course. I'm saying that they're just doing it to save money.
But what I'm saying is you need to make like a zone somewhere in the store where you can kind of handle these problems, like a green zone, and your private military contractors can like charge people like $1 a piece for blowjobs, because that's a thing that we did in Iraq. That's the whole joke. That's the whole joke.
I have similar.
I didn't remember every horrible thing that we did in Iraq.
There's
my
more.
brain. My brain is full of them. So I didn't remember that. But I mean, like, totally plausible. Not shocked at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually have a
Just-
similar suggestion.
Ooh,
Also along the
this could be Abu Ghraib
militarization
then.
route. We just in every Walgreens parking lot, we build a guard tower, and, and we just have a guy posted up there. He's got a rifle, and anytime somebody's sneaking out with some stuff they didn't pay for, he's got authorization to shoot.
Think about the insurance cost, though, having a man up in a tower like that.
Well, you just give him proper like fall protection.
Yeah, he's got like a series of straps like connected to him that are like holding him up like a spider web.
Yeah.
This is our shoplifting protection gimp.
he's like this 85-year-old man.
So continuing with the article, the second thing that needs to be read here is that paragraph down at the bottom, if you could scroll down just a little bit. While shoplifting might not have hurt Walgreens' bottom line as much as it once thought, the company said it suffered a $3.7 billion loss in its first quarter. This is not related to shoplifting, mind you. It's very clever what they've done here, which is that they're just saying, oh, well, we had a $3.7 billion loss in our first quarter. And the article continues, partly relating to litigation over the U.S. opioid epidemic, which has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans in the last decade. Walgreens reached an opioid-related settlement with state and local governments last quarter to pay $5.7 billion over 15 years. That may have contributed a significant amount to the losses. Also, maybe being complicit in hundreds of thousands of deaths means you should take a $3.7 billion hit in your first quarter. I don't know. Yeah, so thought that was interesting. I almost said funny, but I don't think funny is we had some giggles in there, of course, but the subject itself is serious.
Yes.
Yeah, and it sucks, and this lie, again, journalists not doing their job. This lie that and plenty of people like us and other sort of folks like us have basically said that this whole like crime epidemic is complete bullshit. Most of the crime that is a real problem is actually being perpetrated against homeless people. We didn't get to it in the last article, but I think it's something like 85% of murders in LA County in the last year or so were homeless people. It was some ridiculous number like that. So I might be misquoting it, but it was a pretty high percentage.
Yeah. Well,
because you're not safe when you're out on the street.
No. Well, and what do you call it? Because of well, I guess it's an obvious thing of like we allow like the people that take such an important statistic to be controlled by potentially extremely like corrupt insular local governments.
Yeah.
Like Japan has like a disappearing person problem of like 10,000 people. I don't think it's possible to say we actually know, like in our country, fucking how many people like actually disappear, which ours is like a stupid high number too, even with people probably for political expedience not talking about it or not collecting the information.
Yeah, right. If you don't collect information on it, then it's not a problem.
Or you never find the people because they're homeless and you don't give a shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is making me think it might be easier to fake my own death than I thought.
Yeah, you just somebody has to take legal action to declare you dead if you just disappear.
Yeah.
Nobody finds a body, fucking nobody sees you in a picture like chained to a bed in a whorehouse or whatever.
I would never let them chain me down. That's risky.
I was gonna say I've actually seen that picture.
Yeah. Well, that was
Danko.
part of a photo shoot.
Oh, okay.
That was
so.
Yeah.
I found out about a legal process that I find very interesting.
Where they chain you to the bed, and take Take a
No,
picture
like,
about us.
You might need
Like,
to get a new lawyer, buddy.
No, this is standard. This is how I do my taxes. Sorry, John.
There's a way to acquire property, and it's in all 50 states. The rules are just different, but it's like it's a it's some stupid fucking legal term, something like something conversion. But what you need to do is disappear and then fucking like move out to some place that, whether it's privately owned or it's publicly owned, whatever, fucking, and like just build houses there and build your own infrastructure there, which, you know, could only be for like a building or a compound, but potentially. But after like 30 years, it doesn't matter. It's yours, and that's a way to legally claim property from another entity.
That's actually how
through
Mike
trespassing
is
basically.
moving now. He didn't buy this property or anything. He's just announcing it because he's been squatting there since he was 3.
Yeah.
It's called Land Back. Maybe you heard of it.
Man, do I get to do a land acknowledgement whenever I visit you?
Sure, man, if you want to.
This is actually old Michael Deebs land.
I'm here on the ancestral land of the Deebs tribe.
of my buddy.
of my best friend. Anyways, while we're talking about poor and disenfranchised people, let's go ahead and go to the next link.
Yes. Create your own free account or log in to continue. You like never have enough to read for the show, like from all the New York Times articles you must read.
This one had a video in it that I was hoping we could watch.
I could maybe find it.
Just look up Biden immigration asylum.
Oh hell yeah!
This is the part where you guys should read your teleprompters and, I don't know, do filler.
I am pleased to announce that I am a pee baby boy
immigration
with a dirty diaper. Joe Biden, wake up, Joe Biden.
I am so proud of Google figuring out what you were trying to tell. Dude, click on that first one. Maybe it's go to videos. Actually, I want to hear this dumb motherfucker talk. This one is probably this top one probably works. Yep.
Isn't that the same one?
Oh yeah, it's the New York Times article. Imagine that. Go back.
Oh, but it let us.
Oh, but it lets you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. You just had to pay the Google toll, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Go ahead and pause that real quick. So the Biden administration, and then you got Kamala in the back there, because they have to drag her out anytime you want to say something really dumb about immigration, so she continues to look bad. Because she
does come. Stop coming.
Famously went to Guatemala and said, "Hey, how about you just don't go to our fucking country? What about that? Do you ever think about that?" No, we're not gonna fix all the things that we did to your country that make you want to leave it, but you know, that ship has sailed, son.
The only thing that I've taken away from this video, and the 1 second that it's played, I saw micro expressions flash across Kamala's face, you know, and I could tell that it looked like somebody just took a shit in her mouth. Like that's how she must. That's how she must
that's
feel.
The political
like,
career
right
leaving her body.
Yeah. Like this old man is shitting in my mouth.
Yeah, I have no love for Kamala Harris because I think she's a demon, but man, they really did her fucking dirty.
Yeah.
She should have stuck with the whole Joe Biden is racist thing. I actually like that version of Kamala much more. Go ahead and play this. Biden's announcing his new way of dealing with asylum seekers.
Taking several steps to stiffen enforcement for those who try to come without a legal right to stay. First, if they're seeking asylum, they can use an app on their cell phone to schedule an appointment at a port of entry.
What the fuck?
And make their asylum claim there without crossing the border.
Can you go ahead and pause it real quick?
Second, in October we
Funny thing about asylum seekers is they often don't have cell phones.
Yeah, well, and fuck the U.S. government anytime it wants, the charities that fucking if they're American and fucking reside in America, fucking or even take a trip to America if they don't, it's illegal to fucking aid people who are planning to enter the country, potentially illegally, and the U.S. government, they can charge you when they want to. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. I'm pretty sure they have when they've wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing kind of feels like a trap to
like
self-report that you're planning on entering the country.
Yeah,
maybe under less than legal means, and then, also you get to schedule an appointment, and they can just reject you immediately instead of like processing you in any kind of like meaningful way or having to deal with you as like an actual person who is existing in front of them.
Yeah,
so long as you're able to pay the international service fees for your data plan.
Yeah, as long as you're not roaming or anything.
Right. Yeah, and you have a charger on you.
Yeah.
We'll wind up one.
So, point number one of his new asylum seeker plan is already bullshit, obviously. Go ahead and go to he's talking about point number two now. Oh,
but hold on though, because maybe the app will be great, just like the Obamacare website.
Yeah, all the
like,
great apps that the government has rolled out lately.
Or when Shadow Inc. made that wonderful app, remember that?
Yeah, that let Pete Buttigieg. How do you say his name? Is it Buttigieg?
Buttigieg.
God, I haven't thought about that guy in so long. I've only seen it in text for a while.
I feel like I see him all the time.
Too much.
I think that the algorithm is like listening to all the trains I have to like drive by.
I was actually going to say the reason that you see Mayor Pete everywhere is because you're so autistic. You're just so obsessed with trains. I know that's why I see him.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and go to point number two that Biden's talking about here.
Yeah, let's
work with the Mexican government to launch a new parole program.
A what?
The way this parole program works, one must have a lawful sponsor here in the United States who agrees to sponsor you to get here. Then that person has to undergo rigorous background checks and apply from outside the United States and not cross the border illegally in the meantime. Today, I'm announcing that my administration is going to expand the parole program for people not only from Venezuela, but from Cuba, Nicaragua, and Haiti.
You can't immigrate illegally from Cuba, I thought. Or can you now?
I don't know, man. Maybe. I think maybe Trump did something that made it like no longer cool, but who knows? The second point there, the audio is a little bit quiet, so if you didn't hear it, the second point there is basically, in order to seek asylum, you have to have a sponsor in the U.S. The sponsor has to be some kind of relation to you.
Yeah, he said that all R-worded though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't understand what he's like.
And you have to apply from outside of the U.S. Is that right?
Yeah, no, you heard it too. He did say it like an R word, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna start a parole program, Jack. He's running low on adrenochrome, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the second facet of this is you have to have you have to be from one of those countries that he just listed off. In order to like legitimately seek asylum in the first place. And then being from one of those countries, you have to have some kind of relation that's willing to sponsor your asylum seeking in the country before that you can be like considered an asylum seeker.
Yeah.
Which is not how asylum works.
Yeah.
Asylum is
Yeah.
supposed to be like you're escaping from whatever horrible conditions you're living in.
Yeah, that's what, like, that's immigration. That's not somebody being a refugee.
Right. This is just immigration now. This is getting your green card now.
But keep in mind that, you know, Joe Biden's ancestors came over here the right way, where they put on their Irish makeup, you know, just a German guy putting on like a red wig, and like a McDonald's wig, and then walking into the country.
Yeah.
Just walking in.
Walking right in.
Yeah. And when they asked them at Ellis Island, do you have all of the diseases? You say no.
Right.
And then they make you president. Or however immigration used to work when America was cool.
Back
when we were based. Yeah.
So go ahead and go to the next link. It's that yellow and black arrow at the top. So zoom in a little bit. So this
is it quiz time? Did we get to do a quiz?
We're not going to do the quiz, but that highlighted portion of text down there. So is seeking asylum legal? Yes. This is from an organization that does obviously asylum outreach and stuff like that. Yes, seeking asylum is legal even during a pandemic. Asylum seekers must be in the U.S. or at a point of entry, an airport or an official land crossing, to request the opportunity to apply for asylum. So Biden's plan completely redefines how asylum seeking is supposed to work, i.e., as an asylum seeker, you're actually legally allowed to illegally cross the border in order to seek asylum.
Yeah, I think you can even not declare for a fairly long period of time.
Yeah, you're given the benefit of the doubt as an asylum seeker that you have reason to maybe be on the DL in some way or another, because maybe you have people who want to kill you, maybe in the country that you're like crossing the border from, like, let's say Mexico, that has a massive cartel problem. These cartels like to exploit the people who are trying to cross the borders. Maybe you've got more than one reason to not be out in the public for a bit. Oh, Jessica in the chat just said McCarthy has lost the 14th bid for House Speaker. keep taking those fucking L's, buddy.
Damn.
Also, I'm sorry. I've been trying really hard to not laugh, just because you said like seeking asylum on the DL, and I was just imagining like people sneaking across the border to just suck each other off without their wife knowing, like, just, you know.
And then when they get caught, they're like, no, I'm seeking asylum. Me country is so bad.
I loved listening to you do that, because you started off like wavering, deciding, am I going to do a racist accent? I'm not sure. And then you decided not to, and you're like, oh, I already went far enough, and you went for it, but only halfway. You know, so that was a wonderful thing to watch.
I mean, the guy obviously speaks perfect English. He's just pretending to be from a different country, so you know the cops don't think he's there to suck dick. He's there because he's trying to escape Guatemala.
No,
which he was specifically told not to leave, but he did it anyways.
I'm totally an illegal immigrant. That's why I'm here at this border crossing, not for the.
Not because I'm gay or anything. I'm here seeking asylum. I'm not here for hot penis.
I'm here to suck asylum.
Oh, I mean seek.
Yeah, cough. You're just walking into like men's rooms, just tapping your foot
I'm
beneath
here.
the
I'm
stall.
here to seek a guy off. I mean, asylum.
I'm here to seek Aguylum. See, we're just Cumtown now.
Hey.
We're just Cumtown.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah. Anyways, Biden redefining what it means to seek asylum through.
But he can't. It's a law.
Right. No. I mean, it's probably going to be challenged in some way, but
Well,
also
like-
the Supreme Court is full of demons right now, so who knows
Yeah.
where that's going to go.
Well, and it's
They
like
upheld
either-
Title 42, so that sucks. And
Yeah,
Title 42 is where they just get to like deport you because you might be stinky and have COVID. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so like it's either that the Biden administration likes the Trump policies, or
That seems to
they-
be the
or-
case.
Yeah, or I think it's also possible that maybe they've given so much power to the Border Patrol that now they can't control them. Once they give them power, it takes like the Supreme Court to take it away or something.
Yeah, it's
No,
both.
it's
you know?
still. I mean, yeah, the border patrol does have a lot of power, but the Border Patrol is under the Department of Homeland Security, which is under the executive branch of government. So basically, Biden is their dad and can do whatever he wants to Border Patrol.
Yeah, but you can't
it's like,
politically do that if you
well-
want to be like a silly centrist Democrat or whatever.
Like
Think of the
it's-
jobs that
yeah.
would be lost.
Right.
Well, because Congress or because the president at some point gave the DEA independent powers, the president couldn't order the federal law, all federal law enforcement to stop doing marijuana arrests. The DEA would continue to do marijuana arrests no matter what the president says. It takes Congress to fucking end the war on drugs.
Isn't it funny how the ways in which government tends to give up its power so that rogue agencies can just kind of like spiral out of control, hell-bent on like whatever weird thing they're like crack-addled brains, because I mean, let's face it, these dudes are all fucking coked out in some way.
For some reason, people don't believe in politics anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I see.
Speaking of this, the Speaker of the House, by the way, I believe I'm correct on this, but there is no constitutional mandate for a Speaker of the House. It's just congressional rules that they decided on a long time ago and they refuse to break away from.
It's like all the stupid rules they keep on attending
exactly.
to.
It's all made up bullshit, just like the filibuster is just an internal rule that Congress decided upon, and they refuse to do anything about it because they actually kind of like the fact that nothing can be done that ever helps people. That's just the fucking trick there.
Is this a rule like what changes about Congress? Can they only vote on the speaker? Is that the only thing that can be brought to the floor until the speaker's elected or something?
So the way that they've like decided these arbitrary rules is that they basically can't, because the Speaker of the House is the one that's supposed to bring things to the floor to vote on.
Yeah.
So the order of operations is you have to have a Speaker of the House in order to vote on anything. So I mean, this is honestly funny, and you know, people are talking about how like, oh, this shows how dysfunctional the Republicans are, and you know, Democrats should just let this keep happening, and I'm fine with it. But what I keep seeing a lot of is, oh, hell yeah, hopefully we'll get Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House. And it's like, man, that is such a fat fucking L as well. Like, why would you even want to claim that?
Yeah.
I mean this, okay? This is not a joke. It's funny, but it's not a joke. I agree with Matt Gaetz for once. We should make Trump Speaker of the House. That's the funniest, best thing we could possibly do, both for people that hate Trump and everyone else, because he would kill himself.
Yeah, that would be
like he has to be there every day. But the thing though that's so curious about this like nightmare of like spinning their wheels is that with the there's a weird paradox, right? Because usually the thing is that the Democrats are kind of like hard to get in line to do anything of note, right? Because they're just like disordered little petulant children, and they all have like they're like overeducated idiots, and it's usually the Republicans who have like they work together as a mass.
Yeah, they fall in line regardless.
They fall in line.
In order to join the Republican Party, you have to like take pictures of your butthole. That's what we saw happen to Madison Cawthorn. You'll remember. The second he stepped out of line, he immediately had all sorts of compromising videos released about him.
But here's the thing with this is that because they're all falling in line, they don't have to right now, ironically. Because and what I mean by that is that if this was happening with Democrats, the way that you would get them in line is you would say, you're no longer allowed into the committee that stops children from being fed into a new fuel production machine, right? Like this is, you're no longer allowed to vote on affordable housing, and we're going to punish ourselves with that. But the Republicans, it's just, they're not going to tell other Republicans because they're being disruptive that you can no longer do a 38th Benghazi investigation where we check to make sure that Hunter Biden's dick wasn't present in the building, like when it got lit on fire. Like they all want it, and because they're so ideologically uniform, and not even ideal, I mean it is ideology, but because they're so uniform in exactly what they're going to do anyway, there's no way to punish them apart from publishing their butthole pictures, which I'm sure Bobert's butthole pictures are lovely.
I don't know, man. Her restaurant got shut down a couple of times. That thing's
that was
the dig I was hoping for.
They were serving people raw
pork that made them shit blood.
So if she had that pork at any point, that thing's probably been I don't know.
So not only was that meat never stored at the right temperature, there's no evidence that it was ever cured in a like actual like fucking method.
I love that.
And full of
it's just wild hog meat that they fucking sourced from their ranch.
Yeah.
And I don't know that this is the case through anything that I've read, but I know it in my heart to be true that everyone that ate that pulled pork, willingly on their own or not, did it with a gun pointed to their head. Like some people didn't need the gun, to be clear, but they all had one pressed to their temple.
Well, I mean that was like her restaurant's thing, was all of the waitresses carried guns.
I love it so much. I love the fact that so much of the country is just led by cartoon characters. Like fucking, it's just Wile E. Coyote and whatever the fuck that big mustached asshole is. Yosemite Sam. Yeah. It's just the Republicans are just variants of those, and I love it. It's the funniest shit in the universe. There's and then Democrats all think that they're Bugs Bunny, but in fact they're all the fucking they're the hunting for wabbits guy.
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, they're all just Elmer Fudds. Anyway, I'm building a very complex pantheon of cartoon.
While we're on the subject of cartoon characters,
good.
Let's go ahead and transition away from all this depressing shit and go into human trafficking instead.
Oh hell yeah!
So this is actually kind of a funny story. So Andrew Tate, if you know who he is, I'm sorry. If you don't know who he is, he's one of those Sigma male, masculine culture, manosphere guys. A real toxic piece of shit, really. And I don't use the word toxic very often, but he's genuinely just like a toxic, outrageous, horrible person.
He is like a snail trail goo that follows him around.
Even Piers Morgan like pushes back on shit that he says all the time. Like, don't you think that's a bit misogynist? And Piers Morgan, if you don't know, like basically had to leave the BBC because he's a giant flaming piece of shit himself. But out of nowhere, Greta Thunberg has never talked to this guy or talked about him as far as I know. Out of nowhere, Andrew Tate decides to tweet out, hello at Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a W16 8-liter quad turbo. My two Ferrari 812 Competizione have 6.5 liter V12s. This is just the start.
Why didn't you get a variant of those models? You know, like why do you get the exact same models? Like this suggests there are different models.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
But he should just post all of his VINs.
Yeah. But he finishes this tweet off with, please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and the respective enormous emissions. And Greta Thunberg replies with, yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com. Funny, right?
His response to it is my favorite, though, because it's just him. Are we going to see it here?
I believe that's the next link.
Oh, okay.
It's the next link or the scroll down?
No,
okay.
no. Oh, no. Go back then.
His response, his tweet in response was essentially, it was just like, oh, it's funny that you're admitting you have a tiny dick. It's just like the dumbest, like childish.
Just click on Andrew Tate's profile and scroll down. I thought I included a link to that, but flipping. No, click on his actual like Twitter page. Because spoiler alert, he's in jail right now and can't really tweet a whole lot. Somebody's tweeting for him right now, but and then scroll down, you'll see him in a bathrobe. That's the link you're looking for.
In a bathrobe. In a bathrobe.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been.
No. I looked at this earlier today. It's not very far down.
No.
They still put out so much shit.
Well, yeah, he's got somebody tweeting for him, which is funny.
I clicked follow on one person on LinkedIn, which I never make that mistake.
Right
it's this like
yeah. Go ahead and pause it while Danko talks.
No, and I've just had fucking like 30 updates from this person every hour because they're one of those LinkedIn people that's just like. It's dreadful. It's really bad. But
no, LinkedIn is a fucking cesspit, man.
Yeah, it's just the same person just posting the same weird versions of, hey guys, what do you think? Should we kill child laborers? I don't think so. And then it's just like her posting versions of that like 30 times every like hour and a half.
I was in the store today and I saw a poor person I thought to myself, don't they have more than I do actually?
When I got home, my nephew, he's 16 months old, looked me in the eyes and said, actually, it's the petite bourgeoisie that are responsible for the downfall of our current society. But
everybody in the Starbucks stood up and gave a round of applause. The end. Go ahead and make sure it's at the beginning, John, for this video.
But yeah, so just to point out the thing that I was saying for the listener. His response to her doing the big dick or tiny dick at fuckmyface.com or whatever it was, his response is, thank you for confirming via your email address that you have a small penis.
Which is
it's just
the nerdiest,
so childish.
The nerdiest fucking way you could possibly try to turn that around. It's like, well, actually, what you just said is you have a tiny penis.
And I mean, to be fair, her response to him was cringe to begin with, but it was a cringe, like basic gesture where it's like this guy did a thing that makes it seem like he has a tiny dick, and so she made a tiny dick joke and whatever. But I love that I am rubber, you are glue.
Exactly.
That's
exactly
funny.
what it is. It's some fucking nerd baby shit.
No, actually, I'm not.
So go ahead and play a little bit of this clip. I don't think we'll need to interject at any point, but it's pretty fucking dumb.
Release some greenhouse gases.
Wait, this video
Honestly,
is
a
a
stranger
response?
to online controversy. It's not something I often do.
Jesus.
But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address, Greta? Strange. I mean, obviously I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50.
Is this how you unburn yourself on the internet? Like,
No.
This is just a well-produced version of when all those like YouTube channels, like OG YouTube channels, like started having like fucking panic attacks and doing weird shit. And then half of them were pedophiles, and they like tried to unburn themselves with response videos.
Well, yeah, it's a huge flex to initially contact a person, get burned by them. Yeah, the burn's cringy, but whatever. Like, what's she gonna do?
Whatever.
And then like as a continuation of that, like self-own, you get a friend to hold a camera while you smoke a cigar in a bathrobe. And then in a second, he's going to have another friend hand him some pizza, and he's going to comment, please don't recycle the boxes. Because I don't know, that's somehow still owning the libs or whatever he's trying to do.
Oh my God.
He has the like, I know that he has a weird accent because he was like he was half raised in the US and half raised elsewhere, but he also has this other thing where he does this thing with his mouth that only fucking nerds do. Yeah, there's something going on. I can't describe it, but it sounds like I can't even emulate it, but like you can hear it, right? Like he's doing a weird thing with his R's, where he's like over enunciating them, and it sounds like a 14-year-old kid that you just called autistic, and now he needs to correct you about what autistic means.
Right. And the thing with his accent doesn't exist on planet Earth. He's fucking weird.
It's an amalgam. It's a monstrum.
He was born in Washington, D.C., and his dad is like a champion like chess player, and his mother is an opera singer or some shit like that. And they spent a little time in England. He wasn't like raised all over the world, and therefore has like a weird accent because of that. He bounced back and forth between the U.S. and the UK for a while, and somehow developed this weird thing on his own because nobody else talks like that.
And it's in the R's, right? Like I think it might be the most optimistic part of me says that it's just him trying to over enunciate his R's in order to sound not British, but then he does this weird open vowel thing with everything else that makes him sound like he's trying to sound British. It's a mess, and it's very funny.
It's a total mess.
And how many migrant domestics did he talk to most of the day while he was a kid?
He had a cool like black nanny that like told him he had The Shining.
So yeah, we don't really need to watch much more of this, except for
let's play a little bit more just so we can hear his voice a little bit more, so we can all
go ahead
bask
and
in that.
roll just a little bit more so we can hear his.
You might as well just play the rest of it.
It is what it is. I'm not actually mad at Greta.
What?
Please bring me pizza and make sure that these boxes are not recycled.
Not recycled.
So I'm not actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks she
that's such a weird thing. Like it's disconcerting.
Yeah.
The way that he talks.
So bad right
he talks like there's like fucking 3 people in there.
Yeah.
What was that you said, Danko?
Oh, I was just remarking on how badly I want pizza.
Oh,
like I would kill for like a pizza with extra cheese on it.
Okay, well, I don't think
a
you need to do
stretchy,
that.
pulley
It's like-
pizza.
It's like two British people and then like a news anchor from America fucking are like ad-libbing everything that he's saying.
Yeah, it's like okay. So this is hard to articulate because it sounds nothing like it, but I know that I guess it functions in a similar way. But you know the transatlantic accent, like that like old like 30s exactly, or like Willie Muff Buckley has and all that shit. It's a little bit Boston Brahmin, it's a little bit like British, it's a little bit American. Just so you can communicate and like sell media more easily between all these parties. It sounds like someone. Have you ever taken so much acid that you forget what language is and have to construct it again from scratch? Yeah. It's like someone did that, but they were right about the fact that they're retarded now and they'll never stop being high.
No, I ruined language forever.
Yeah. Now I need to produce the transatlantic accent somehow, and it just none of it works. But it's serving that purpose, I think. But I love it. It's very good.
In there he says that Greta's been programmed by the Matrix.
Oh yeah.
Andrew Tate is one of those red pill guys.
Matrix.
He says that a lot. He's a red pill guy that like takes the Matrix analogy way too seriously and thinks that like everyone's out to get him or whatever. And he's like the only one that's truly woken up. And that's
yeah. When he's doing it the wrong way. You don't wake up out of the Matrix, which by the way is real. By being misogynistic and raping people. The way that you escape the Matrix is eating silica packets and masturbating.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to
I've woken
yet,
up.
I guess.
I've woken up into a shaved, gooey mess like 37 times today.
I'm free. Oh no, the robot's got me again. So go ahead and there was a rumor spreading on Facebook that the pizza boxes, they're from he lives in Romania now, and the reason he lives in Romania is because it's easier to sex traffic people in Romania. There was a rumor going around that the pizza boxes are from the pizza boxes are from a popular Romanian chain. But there was a rumor going around that he doxed himself through these pizza boxes, giving the
is that not true?
No, it's not true. No.
Oh, that's a bummer.
The Romanian government probably has a few more tricks up its sleeves than watching a guy's Twitter account to make sure he's in the country.
Yeah, they probably just know where he lives.
Yeah, they know where he lives, and they had
like
a guy watching it and going, "Hey, Andrew Tate, the guy we want to arrest, is back."
Oh yeah, he's home right now in the place that he doesn't leave because he's constantly posting videos and having sex with his slaves.
So
doesn't like parts of like Italy have some crazy law like that? Like there's just people that are like that have not left their house because like you can't like serve an arrest warrant in their house or something.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's possible. Italy's got.
Or maybe I'm confusing that with blood feuds or something.
Maybe.
What's the Japanese word for people like us that never leave our homes and like bathe in our own filth?
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but
is it it's a otaku maybe?
No,
I mean, it serves the same purpose.
Yeah.
But
the otaku is a stage between a normal person and the person we're talking.
Hikikomori.
Yes,
yeah. I love the idea.
Like I don't know, like sleeping in death or whatever, like because
you're
dead to the world or something like that.
Is it just hoarders?
Well, it's just me. It's just a guy. It's a guy that just jerks off and eats silica packets all day and never leaves his home.
Same goo tub.
Head shaved freshly, face, everything.
You
He's
know,
getting caught by the robots.
I bet it causes the same amount of like family shame as being a hoarder though.
Definitely,
Oh yeah, and I mean, you also have to be a hoarder in that case to some degree, because like you're probably not leaving to like dump out your trash and stuff,
No.
right? You're just like bathing in your own shit. Which I love the idea that behind the camera, that's actually what Andrew Tate's like home is like. It's just all filth.
It's just that wood panel room.
Yeah, that wood paneling, in fact, is just like, it's one of those Japanese like paper curtains kind of things. Yeah, it's just veneer that he has a little hinge on.
So enough of this video. Basically immediately after this, and not because of this, it should be pointed out, the pizza boxes didn't dox him. The Romanian police just probably are able to watch people that they want to arrest. Immediately after this, the last thing he does on Twitter, which he like lives on because he's a fucking nerd, is own himself publicly, and then not having any chance to redeem himself, he immediately gets arrested by the Romanian police on sex trafficking charges, which are almost certainly legitimate. He's basically bragged about sex trafficking in the past, and now I'm sure they probably have some solid evidence on him to make this arrest. But let's go ahead and watch this clip of the Romanian police going through his fucking weird wannabe nightclub ass house.
Oh shit.
That archway.
Yeah, he's got like a fucking samurai set of armor out front.
With like neon light around this arch. Oh, dreadful.
And then all the walls are like black and lit really shitty.
Yeah, it looks like it might even be like gunmetal metallic paint. Like that's a real nightmare. It looks like shit.
Yeah, the lights are not supposed to be on this way.
Basically,
like what it must be like you have to have a wood panel room like to not I don't know, probably like kill yourself, because you can't live with the lights off and nothing but like, I don't know, lasers or something going on.
Well,
like
it's
some club lighting, like
I said, it's a wannabe nightclub ass house.
Yeah, it's the home of someone that like had a stroke in Spencer's Gifts when they were 12. You know, like
and has not mentally developed from that stage of their life.
Yeah, it just got stuck there.
Keep playing.
He's still learning how to speak.
Did the volume cut off?
No, it's just.
Oh, okay.
It's got guns laying around, which is, you know, proper way to handle that. Brass knuckles.
That's so funny.
The Matrix has attacked me.
And that's what he fucking says. He walked up, the Matrix has attacked me. Yeah, apparently the Romanian police are Agent Smith or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Than's for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news.
Of course, a bunch of the usual chuds are like rushing to his defense, like, no way, they come after my boy. But I found probably the dumbest ways somebody could ever talk about this subject, and it comes from friend of the show, maybe one day guest, Joseph Rogan.
Really?
Yeah.
I was hoping for like Stefan Molyneux or something.
No. So
that he must have amazing takes on this.
I don't know who this other guy is because I don't care about him, but he's equally stupid in this conversation. In fact, I think he might be dumber in a way because he recognizes that Andrew Tate is a bad guy, but he still lives in this state of denial that a bad guy could do a bad thing. This kind of starts mid conversation. I don't have a Joe Rogan Experience podcast account or anything, so I only was able to find this clip on this. But go ahead and
you don't have a Spotify account?
I refuse to sully myself by listening to
What do you think of all his stuff?
What do you think?
Okay.
All his stuff.
Who
All
the
his
fuck is?
stuff.
I don't know, but I love the way that this is introduced to it. What do you think of all this stuff?
Please rewind it. Please.
This guy is somehow like in a K-hole, but still like talking.
I just want to talk about my friend Andrew Tate.
This guy sucks. Again, I'm not gonna look at his name. I'm not gonna find out who he is. I just know he sucks. Go ahead.
That's so awesome.
This what happens when you snort ketamine and meth.
Go on the Joe
Rogan experience.
What do you think of all his stuff?
I don't know what's happening, right? Like what really happened, and why is Romania going after him? Are they being pressured by someone else to do this? Like what is the reason why they're
the lady who escaped, right?
The plausible deniability of like is Romania being forced to go after Andrew Tate because he did a little bit of sex trafficking?
Well,
is there some kind of outside influence that's forcing? I mean, like the U.S. government doesn't give a shit about Andrew Tate. Like, who's forcing Romania to do this besides Romania saying, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to sex traffic inside of our country." We don't like it when people are sex trafficked in our country.
I can't remember. Wasn't it because they trafficked like not just like a woman from America, but a woman who was an American citizen from America?
I mean, there's been multiple instances. Yeah. The guy basically ran like a webcam pimping service for a long time, and has been extremely vocal in saying the reason he moved to Romania is because one time he got in a dispute with one of his sex workers when he was back in England, and the police raided his little compound, and he thought to himself, "Oh, I don't want to live in a country where they just raid your compound for doing crimes against women. And that's why I'm going to move to Romania now." He's been explicit in saying the reason he moved to Romania is so that he could basically do sex trafficking, just not in those legalistic terms. But I love how Joe Rogan here is like, I don't even know what's going on, man. What really happened here? Is Romania being pressured into this in some way?
I mean, Joe Rogan has a very well established history of
not knowing shit about anything, right?
And having extremely positive relationships with the fairer sex.
I've never once met a girl that like listens to the Joe Rogan podcast.
I'm not even talking about that. Like it's just.
Oh no, I just mean in general. Yeah. Like, yeah, he's a piece of shit too. But like, I also just don't know maybe I know a women or a couple of women that like have listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, but I know several dudes that I don't like hanging out with who listen to it.
And let me be entirely transparent here. I used to listen to Joe Rogan and I liked it, like in the early days. It was fun and he was charming and he was funny and whatever. Like it wasn't a big deal. He's an idiot a lot of the time, but yeah, it's really he's gone a very funny direction. But one thing that I love, and I haven't seen confirmed stats about this, but from everything that I've heard and what I feel in my heart, again, just like with the Bobert butthole thing, I'm pretty certain that he made more people cry on the set of News Radio than Andy Dick did, and that's fucked up because one of these people rapes people. Yeah. Anyway.
So go ahead and roll a little bit more of this. We're not going to listen to the full 12-minute.
What do they have on him? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that to me is the right answer. Nobody knows. A lot of people are acting like they know. If you go read it,
well, they want him,
which is crazy.
They want him to go down, and they want him. He represents something. He represents toxic masculinity.
He is sort of toxic. I mean, he says crazy stuff.
They seize his car collection as investigation continues.
So go ahead and pause.
The one thing I don't get about this, well, I do get, I understand.
Why isn't his voice as funny as it was anymore? Why did it get less funny?
I don't know, man.
Because he doesn't have a cigar in his mouth anymore? Is that what was making his... did he have it in his mouth?
Maybe,
but
maybe
I love,
he was
I
like
love-
resisting that like urge that people get when they're on the Joe Rogan show to just like completely incriminate themselves and their friends. And he
Maybe.
caught himself, and
Yeah,
like
his-
all the cognitive dissonance made him brain dead for just, like a minute.
Him resisting his own tongue caused his body to start getting sucked into his own mouth.
Yeah, he had a mini stroke. It took 2 years. It took 2 years off his life.
All these people stroking out
So, starting from don't
without
actually
eating
start-
silica packets.
Don't actually start from the beginning, but starting from the beginning of the conversation that these two gentlemen have had so far, you have, well, I don't even know what's going on. He's been arrested for sex trafficking charges. That much is evident. Everybody knows about that. It's on headlines. So Joe Rogan saying, I don't even know what's going on. What do they have on him? Is already like, what do you mean you don't know what's going on? And then the second defense that they're running is like, it's almost like people want it to be true. Isn't that fucked up? Isn't it fucked up that people want it to be true that he did this? I would rather it's not
That's so
true.
funny.
Is the argument that you're gonna hear is,
Damn.
I would actually rather it not true, because if it's true, that means a bunch of fucked up shit happened, and I don't want a world where fucked up shit happens.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't believe in the moon landing, because I desperately need the moon to be made of cheese. Like, I just need that to be true in my heart.
Well,
Again,
also-
my heart keeps speaking.
In a world where the moon landing happened, you also have the Cold War, and I don't like the Cold
that's
War,
fucked up.
so I
That's
refuse to
fucked up.
believe that the moon landing happened, because that means that the Cold War happened, and I don't want to live in that world.
Yeah, like a really neurotic Baudrillard sitting around writing about how the none of the Iraq wars happened. There was no Cold War, and the moon is made of cheese. So.
Go ahead.
While waking up in his pod, because he's been eating silica packets.
Yeah,
While
keeps waking
jerking
up in
off.
that goo pod.
Yeah.
Play a little bit more, John.
All right.
And people are actually like want the charges to be true, which is crazy, because that would mean a lot of bad shit to happen to a lot of bad people.
Yeah, I would rather the charges be incorrect. Look, Romania, I don't know what their system is like. I don't know whether they're corrupt. I've heard things, but I don't have any real information.
Apparently.
So I'd be talking
like our.
That's one of the reasons he moved there. Is apparently.
Yeah,
but also like I love how he prefaces it with, I don't know shit about the thing I'm about to do a bunch of like gestural contemplations about.
I mean, that's
I mean, yeah, it's classic Rogan, but at the
Um,
same time, it's such a weak shit defense for everything that he says.
Right. When this first happened, I remember doing a Google search for Romanian prisons, because if I had to guess without any information, I would assume that they're not great places. But you're always surprised, or you're oftentimes surprised by these things, right? Like, maybe Romania has like the most humane prisons in the world outside of like Norway or something.
Yeah, right.
But as soon as I Googled it, it was really funny. It came up with a picture of like Moldovan prison, Romanian prison, and then a Finnish prison. And both of the two were just like mud holes with like people like being fed to like rabid bees somehow in them. And then there was the Finnish prison, which was just like an Airbnb. It was very good. So apparently Romanian prisons, not great.
That's what I've heard, is the conditions aren't great. They're probably on the level of American prisons, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah. Oh God, don't look up on Google American prison. Like, you're in trouble there.
You want to have
We
a
don't
real
even have
bad
these.
time. If you want to have a real bad time, look up American prison deaths 2020 to 2022, and just sit with that number for a little bit and ask yourself whether or not somebody should die for having marijuana on their body at one point.
Yeah.
But go ahead and play a little bit more of this, because these two gentlemen aren't done with their like astounding analysis of this subject.
Yes.
talking out of my ass to say, if he really did like sex traffic people, if he really did all the things he's saying, Well, I hope that gets proven in court, and I hope he gets punished if he really did that. If he didn't do that, I hope he gets exonerated, and I hope he gets the fuck out of Romania. I don't know. I don't know what he did. I know a lot of what he does is theater, right? A lot of what he does is very like satire. He plays.
The reason he's saying that is because I think he understands that a large percentage of his viewership is also Andrew Tate guys, as in guys who you know, follow Andrew Tate's teachings, I guess. I don't know if he has teachings. He claims to have teachings.
His Hustlers
on
University.
Later on in this clip, actually, it might actually just go ahead and play a little bit more. John, sorry.
Plays the role of this boastful misogynist who smokes cigars and drives Lamborghinis, and that's his thing. And because of that, he's amassed an amazing amount of money. And he's done it by doing this character, this online persona, but then also says very wise things. He says ridiculous shit, but also says really interesting things. He's a very smart guy.
You know, like, it's fun listening to the homeless guy, like, on the street, fucking, who's like coming down off of something, fucking, because sometimes, like, something profound, like, I assume, or fucking my brain pattern recognition fucking like pieces together, and it's nice, but should they have Lamborghinis and
so another thing that Rogan is pontificating on here is like, well, he was so successful in the social media realm that he amassed this great amount of wealth. He was actually incredibly unsuccessful on social media. No advertisers want to like touch him with a 10-foot pole because he's such an outrageous piece of shit that you know, it's bad for their brand to advertise with him. As Luke in the chat has noted, sells courses on the secret to get wealthy like him. The secret was sex trafficking all along. That's all it is. He was sex trafficking a ton of people and amassed a bunch of wealth based off of sex trafficking. He never made very much money off of his, I don't know, it was like, I forget the name of his courses, but he was trying to sell like business masterclass courses for a while.
Hustlers University.
Hustlers University, thank you.
Literally called Hustlers University. Fucking incredible.
That was never really successful. A couple of people tried it out just to see how shitty it was.
I gave him $6,000.
Oh, okay.
just in the last like 48 hours. I have a problem.
But yeah, no,
I can't stop hustling.
The crazy thing about Andrew Tate is he probably could have gotten away with sex trafficking. And I'm not saying that he should get away with it. I'm just saying he probably could have gotten away with being this kind of guy for infinity.
If he wasn't such a fucking dork-ass nerd.
Yeah, if he would just shut the fuck up and stay off the internet and not run his fucking mouth all the time. But he's so fucking like retarded, chode, misogynistic asshole that he couldn't shut the fuck up, and he's incriminated himself so many times that people looked into it, and now he's in prison.
But that's also
for like 30 days total is like the holding period that they have over there while they're investigating. So he's in prison for 30 days.
That's also that's the beautiful thing about people like this, like the little blessing, the silver lining is that and of course this is not universal, sadly, but someone like him, he's only doing all this weird like sex monster stuff because of the fact that he's the type of person who would announce he's doing sex pervert stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like, so he's doing it all for some kind of weird, like, misogynistic clout. Like, I would imagine that Andrew Tate doesn't even have like, he probably has like a C- libido, I would imagine. Like, he's a guy that like, he has to like thumb his dick in half the time.
It's those guys that you run into all the time that you know, the only thing that they can ever talk about is like, oh man, I'd fuck her so hard. I would make good sex so long with her for hours and maybe even days. Who knows?
It's the chud, like, conservative version of the like neckbeard guy that won't stop talking about how much he loves eating pussy.
Yeah.
Like, which to be fair, I love
Let's all qualify ourselves here. That's what's important.
I'm not one of those people.
I'm not that kind of chud. I'm a different kind of chud.
I do it for my pleasure. You know?
Let's go ahead.
That's why I seek asylum.
I'm not gay or anything. I totally love girls.
Yeah, I do it for her pleasure when I'm seeking Aguylum. Sucking Aguylum. Fuck. Shit.
Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll come back. We'll do a speed run of Twitter fails. With an important thing that people need to know about Twitter. Which of course, again, the mainstream media has stayed very far away from because it doesn't look good on the government. And then we've got some Neom updates.
Hell yeah!
And then we'll round it out.
Paradise.
We'll call it a night. But let's go ahead and go to intermission real quick.
Love it.
All right.
Cool. I just started up my oven so I can make a chicken. I'm doing a midnight chicken, boys. Debone.
What are we starting?
We're starting the podcast back up again. Danko is deboning a chicken as we speak, but I believe he's present. So let's do a speed run of all the things that have happened in the 2 weeks that we've been gone to both Elon Musk, I guess both of his major companies, and one of which being Tesla, the other being Twitter. I guess SpaceX is also a major company he has, but not much is happening there except for like just the regular stuff he does. So Tesla's stock lost over $700 billion worth of value. This wasn't over the course of the last 2 weeks or anything like that. It's been happening for a while, and then it kind of like happened quicker because of the Twitter acquisition and people losing faith in Elon Musk because he's basically turned into a Twitter shitlord. A lot of people who speculate on such things, and this is something that I've always thought as well. Tesla's stock has been massively overinflated because Tesla for a long time wasn't really considered a car manufacturer the same way other car manufacturers are considered car manufacturers. For a long time it was kind of traded like a tech company, and tech companies always have like wildly inflated values. I mean, try to explain to somebody that a website where you shitpost at each other all day is somehow worth $40 billion, i.e. Twitter. And you know, that's not something that really makes sense, because it's like, what's the product there really? You go on this website to like see the most miserable takes you can possibly find and then reply to them. Maybe you get some links to some news articles at some point, but you know, while you're on this website, you're limited to 240 characters, so you can never really actually get a point out. It's bonkers sort of shit, right? And Tesla for a long time was traded kind of like a tech company is traded, because wow, we're revolutionizing the car industry. Never mind the fact that like electric vehicles have existed for a very long time. What they really did was kind of like revolutionize the way electric vehicles are marketed. Maybe is like the kindest thing we could say about Tesla.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stock has absolutely fucking plummeted. So that's L number 1. Let's go to the next L.
L number 2.
This one involves our boy Jordan B. Peterson. So Robert Reich, who is I believe Clinton's old economic advisor, he's since become a lot less neoliberal. He still kind of sucks a little bit, but much more materialist politics and economics now. But Elon Musk and his enablers have turned this website into a torrent of ad hominem attacks, lies floated as jokes, and blatant misinformation. This isn't freedom of speech, it's just dangerous. The problem Robert is having here is the problem every liberal has, which is he's taking Twitter seriously. But Jordan Peterson decides to reply to this tweet. Scroll up to the top.
Oh.
Jordan Peterson decides to reply to this tweet, and it's getting just impossible to find child porn ... smiley face. First off, that's a weird fucking way to reply to that tweet.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
What Jordan Peterson said?
Yeah, it's getting crazy. It's so hard to find.
It's so hard to find. This isn't a weird incrimination of myself in some way. I was just checking to make sure that it's hard to find now. And what I found is that it's hard to find now.
Yeah, before mealtime, 3 times a day, I do a quick Twitter search for CP just to make sure.
Yeah. You don't have to abbreviate it. We're demonetized always. Don't worry.
I'm still thinking about cheese pizzas. Okay.
Jesus.
Damn it.
That was the Pizzagate thing. Was cheese pizza was shorthand for CP, which is a euphemism for child pornography. Deep cuts. So Jordan Peterson decides to reply in that way. And, you know, the statement is fucking weird and bizarre on the one hand. On the other hand, if that's true, if Twitter is actually like removing, content that is sexually abusing children, that's good. And I'm not going to, even though it's Elon Musk in charge of the company, I'm not going to be like, oh, I still hate Elon Musk for that. That would be a good thing. Were it true, go ahead and go to the next link.
Next link.
This is an article from like the other day, or maybe today. But on Musk's Twitter, users looking to sell and trade child sex abuse material are still easily found. So I guess this kind of exonerates Jordan Peterson because apparently he wasn't looking very well, or maybe he wasn't looking at all. I don't know. Still a bizarre response, but yeah,
He's probably talking about like maybe like did Elon Musk crack down on like trans people or something?
Probably, who knows?
Yeah, but or some bizarre thing like
yeah,
like
there's probably some cockamamie way that he's like justified this to himself. But anyways, it turns out when you fire like all of your security and like content moderation staff, things on your website don't get better when it comes to like, I don't know, child abuse content. It's still apparently very easy to find this kind of content on Twitter, and I don't think firing all of your staff that would normally handle this kind of stuff and like clean it off the website, I don't think that's made the situation. But it's like, let's say that like you run a garbage company and like a bunch of like really dangerous garbage has been piling up, and then you fire the guy that's supposed to clean up that dangerous garbage. I don't think that situation gets better. So that's another big L. Also a big L for Jordan Peterson, of course, who I am almost certain is losing his fucking mind on benzos right now. But that's a topic for a different podcast day, maybe. Go ahead and go to the next one. So this was happening and happened through the time that Elon Musk was purchasing Twitter, but Twitter also had a 200 million user email leak. I think it actually ended up getting to like 235 million users had their emails leaked, which is unfortunate and bad for, you know, like, let's say you post on Twitter under a pseudonym of some sort because you don't want to be like publicly identified. Maybe it's something like, you know, I don't know, you talk shit about corporations and you work for a corporation, and now a corporation can find out that you, Joe Blow, who works at the corporation, was talking shit on the corporation and wants to fire you now. And then there's like a plethora of other doxing reasons why this is bad. And it's why if you use Twitter, you should use a bullshit throwaway email account like I do.
Yeah, I do the same thing. It's Dorian at foxydanko.com.
Nobody knows who it is.
Everyone's like, who is that foxy little guy? And I'm like, it's me, Foxy Danko. You can't figure it out.
In every case in which it's available to you, you should always use a fake email whenever you sign up for anything.
Yeah,
that's just something that you learn having been on the internet from childhood. Let's go ahead and so that sucks, and that's pretty bad. But the worst thing is this next link, which is very, very underreported right now. People are reporting a lot on the spectacle of Elon Musk flailing around on Twitter, being pretty fucking dumb and like ruining the company that he bought, and also ruining another company that he's been in charge of for a long time. But this reporting from Li Fong from the Intercept rather. The headline here reads, Twitter aided the Pentagon in its covert online propaganda campaign. Internal documents show Twitter whitelisted CENTCOM accounts that were then used to run its online influence campaign abroad. So for all of the, you know, hemming and hawing that, or not hemming and hawing, but I guess screaming and crying that liberals have done about, you know, Russian bots on Twitter, turns out that the Pentagon, of course, was running its own like Twitter bot campaigns and working directly with Twitter in order for these Twitter bots that they were running to be whitelisted and actually receive more reach than they normally would as like shitty bot accounts, obviously regurgitating talking points from, you know, the government. I recommend people read through this article in its entirety. I kind of gave the basic gist of it. They were also able to communicate directly with Twitter's like moderation board to basically blacklist certain accounts. So if you feel like you've ever been, I don't know, shadow banned on Twitter or whatever, there's a more than zero chance that it may have been a government agent telling Twitter to shadow ban you.
The army has a corps of psyops soldiers.
Yeah, I mean, literally it does. And this is what they do is they go on Twitter all day to they're propaganda commandos.
I keep telling Deebs that he can work from home. He doesn't have to move out to Virginia to do this. But
no, I like going into the office. Famously,
yeah, you like the camaraderie of everyone else wearing their windbreakers.
Yeah, I like. Well, it's nice. You know, it feels like you're part of a team.
Yeah.
As a single mother Latina with diagnosed bipolar disorder. I really enjoy going to the PSYOP workplace.
I'm also a bisexual with generalized anxiety disorder.
That's what it was, yeah.
Actually, sorry, no, I'm a pansexual.
Oh, well, yeah, you got to have an emotional connection.
No, that's demisexual.
Oh, fuck, I can't keep track of them.
Pansexual is bisexual is when you have sex with people of either gender.
Okay.
And pansexual is where you also have sex with those people.
Oh, right, yeah. So anyways, I recommend people read through this article. It's some pretty bleak shit, and you know, it just further confirms that if you're on Twitter and you're taking it seriously, you need to stop doing that, because it's a fucking psyop on top of psyops. Not good for your brain.
No.
So we always like to end with a fun segment. You're muted.
Danko, you're muted.
Oh no, he knows he's muted. I think he's talking to someone on a cellular phone.
Oh wow. Yeah, he was talking super animated. I thought he was trying to get our attention.
Yeah, it's girlfriend voice probably. Go ahead and go to the next link. So
no, there was a joke that I wasn't able to say on the podcast, so I had to send it to you in an audio message.
Okay, I'll listen to that later. So Neom, right? There's a couple of projects. Go ahead and mouse over the regions thing at the top there, just so we can refresh ourselves. You might have to click on it.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Oh, you gotta accept cookies.
Oh.
You
Oh.
don't have to scroll for it. You're chasing it.
I can't see it because of my
just click the yellow button.
Stupid.
Click the yellow
button.
All right, now mouse over region. So previously, huh?
This shit's very complicated.
Yeah. Previously announced projects for Neom, which is the $500 billion city of the future, from Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. We have the Line, which is a big long city. We've got Trojana, which we talked about a couple of episodes ago because it was recently announced, and it's a ski resort in a set of mountains that receives basically no snow every year. And then we have Oxagon, which is for reasons unbeknownst to anybody, is shaped like an octagon and is half floating on the water and is some kind of port town.
I'm sorry. It's called what again, Mike?
Oxagon. Yeah.
It's the name of like a battle arena that's featured in a video game knockoff in 1997, where you have like robot dinosaurs that fight one another
in the city of
it's rated
Oxygon.
T for teen. Yeah.
And so we have a new place that doesn't exist and is being announced anyways.
No.
We have no, go back over to regions. No.
Regions.
So we talked about the line, we talked about Georgiana, we talked about Oxygon. Now we have Sindala.
Ooh,
God.
So
I've
you don't have
seen
to
her.
click on
I've
that.
seen pictures of
We're
her.
already on the Sindala page, but go ahead and click that play button for the video.
Islands. Home to advanced civilizations. Ancient mysteries. Legends from millennia ago. But now, we live in a new era. And it's time for a new story. A legend of a place beyond the horizon. An island in the pristine waters of the Red Sea. Where luxury is a tribute to nature. Where every moment is an inspiration. And a new world is unveiled. An island where you can be the hero of your own story.
Like
Be
golfing
part
on
of the
an
legend.
island.
Sindala.
I love the. I mean, there's so many things I love about that, like the special effects of the
But
burning
the way
away
it
and the
starts,
Poseidon and
right?
stuff. The way it starts. Islands.
home to advanced civilizations, not the one we're going to, but other islands have had advanced civilizations.
Have you ever considered islands?
So take a couple of mental notes on some of the imagery we're seeing as we're going through this.
The gardens of
notably of the buildings, right? So you got that kind of building, you've got this weird bridge thing. John, go ahead and go to actually scroll down a little bit. We'll see a rendering of the island if you keep going down. So that's what the island is eventually going to look like. I'm not sure where that bridge thing exists at, but it doesn't seem to be in the final rendering here. But yeah, it's basically just a shitty bay with a golf course and a bunch of I don't know, hotel rooms, I guess, or maybe condos of some kind. And then like, I don't know, you just got boats and people chilling in the sun, I guess.
They're just making wholesale everything and like a Catalina island off of California or something.
Yeah. So,
but
I really like
that one's an actual rock.
I really like looking
this
at
is
the.
Like, this is just like sand that they dumped in the same way that they built those awful looking palm tree islands.
No. See, that's actually where I thought it was going to be the same thing. And
was it an actual island?
That ties into what I was going to lead us into next is I like looking at the physical spaces that these places are supposed to exist.
Yeah, on this podcast, we're all about bodies and spaces.
Yeah. You'll note a lot of lush green environment. Notably, I mean, that they're planning on having a golf course on this thing. A lot of green there. John, could you maybe go to the next link, which happens to be a Google Maps of the area this is going to be on? That's what the island looks like now. You will note it's bereft of basically anything that could be considered life. I matched up the geography of this island with the island and the renderings, because if you actually look up Sindala, it like goes to a land bridge area that's to the top right. But this is where they actually plan on doing it, I guess. If you zoom in to where you can like see buildings, not a whole lot going on there. You have some dusty compounds, it looks like, some roads that go across the island. I'm sure one day it'll look like the rendering. What I also love about it is you can see on the left there, because I've marked this place. When you Google search this location out, it shows a rendering of what the island is supposed to look like when it's Sandala. But you know, as you can see, the image on the left there doesn't quite match up with the actual reality of the island. But yeah, no, just another cool place that doesn't exist. Speaking of not existing, go to the next link. And this is one of the funniest things I think I've read in a while about Neom specifically. So hit cancel so you don't. Oh, you're gonna get ads now. So Saudi Arabia not building the line, but AI is, says Neom executive. The Lanier City will be assembled using artificial intelligence, AI, Neom's executive director, Gilles Pendleton said.
Why?
I don't know, man, but scroll down and zoom in a little bit. Saudi Arabia will not directly build the futuristic city, the line at Neom, but instead use a lot of artificial intelligence to design through a digital twin backbone. What that means is the fake version of the line that's going to be like on the metaverse is somehow going to be responsible for building the line. That's literally what that means. When the digital twin is the metaverse version of the line, and
yeah, this is where
a lot of artificial intelligence, not a little bit of artificial intelligence, but a lot of artificial intelligence is going to be used to design it through the digital twin backbone.
See, and this is when like all the roofs will be made out of the bones of birds.
Yeah, the birds that keep smacking into our giant mirrored surface. We've got to build quite a lot of real estate in a short space of time. Well, we're not actually building the line. We're assembling it from a series of modular pieces that are pre-engineered and predetermined as to what they do, Pendleton said when asked about building a new city of 9 million inhabitants in a short period of time. The Lanier City, which is being built in the kingdom's northwest Tebuk province, recently saw excavators digging a wide trench in the desert. That's as far as they've gotten with the line so far. A portion of it not longer than a mile has been dug out as a trench.
many great things start with a trench in the desert.
That's true. Yeah. The line's mirror facade will allow the city to seamlessly blend into the nature around it.
What?
With a reduced infrastructure footprint, whatever that means, the Lanier City will have no roads, cars, or emissions, running on 100% renewable energy with 95% of land preserved for nature.
Wait, did we move from one road to no roads? Because
no roads.
So where we're going, we won't need roads.
I was waiting for
in
that
case. I didn't even want to say that joke. It came out of my mouth when I was on my way to say something else.
I can see the regret in your eyes as you started saying it.
I still feel it.
This is going to be like literally one of those like steampunk fantasy world, what is it, like League of Legends style fucking
it's weird, just BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, some weird steampunk.
I like the idea of League of Legends, where everybody has to meet in mid now. Because mid is the only lane that exists in Neom.
Yeah, and some people's transit passes won't get them to certain places, and that'll be like what privileges in this like city.
Okay, there's no way that super rich.
Well, how long is this? 170 kilometers.
Yeah, it's
and you don't even have one road. You just. I'm assuming it's a series of tubes that launch you or something. Teleportation.
Well, I mean, we talked about not too long ago. I think you missed that episode, but we talked about how somebody was hypothesizing a water canal that people could use to get to and from places. God. So you would just like wade out into this canal and be carried to your destination that way. And the person who was writing this was like super pro this idea, and they described it from the perspective of a young schoolboy who has an AI assistant that gives it the child proper proportion of food based off of what diet the child needs at that moment.
It knows how much that kid poops. That's weird.
Yeah. And then the child walks out. The child has to go to school, so he walks out into the commute. What was it? It was like the commuter canal or something like that, and swims to school, which is good for
That's so awesome. That's so
good for
funny,
his health. And then he changes into his schoolboy uniform and learns things from the very good school that Neom will have.
Yeah. Well, I love the idea of, I mean, so the line and Neom are going to have to like any other city, especially, one that I assume you can live there no matter who you are, so long as you pay for it, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Then would probably need some kind of space for like disabled people, because there are rich disabled people also. And I love the idea of just like people in wheelchairs just getting dumped into this river. Blind people just like flailing around in the water.
I can't even imagine how many fucking bodies would end up at the end of that. Every day.
The thing that I think is really brave about Neom, it's a brave design choice, because what you would usually think if you were like, I want to efficiently use space, and I'm not some geometrician or whatever the fuck you would call me.
I'm just some guy.
I'm just some asshole. But if you wanted to make it so that every point was most quickly and easily accessible from any other without
perhaps equidistant.
Yeah, right. Or equidistant, or like the closest possible distances, right? You would want to build a circle, I would assume. Right? Yeah, because
never heard of that.
Oh, I thought you were actually disagreeing with it. But like you'd want to have a circle, and it's a small jump to go from the curviest thing in the world to a straight line. Like that's so brave.
Well,
so
everything is the furthest it can possibly be from anything else.
So like Great Walls are basically just ways for guys who can't build tall buildings to cheat.
You just lay it on its side, brother.
Yeah.
well the thing about the line is that it's also like the height of the One World Trade Center the whole way. So
oh my god.
Yeah, they're I mean, it's made up. It's
I knew it was tall.
happen.
I didn't realize it was. No.
It's never gonna fucking happen, but it's funny anyways.
Well, yeah, like don't like cities like the foundations of cities like support each other?
Yeah,
can you just build a skyscraper or a fucking giant fucking skyscraper wall fucking by itself in the middle of the desert?
Well,
like I'm not a civil engineer, but
you would never want to do that, because you want to limit the footprint a certain amount on your building, because if you have one continuous like long structure, it becomes very prone to tectonic plate shift. Which is bad for buildings, I've heard. So yeah, it's just a stupid fucking idea. But I really love every time they announce a new area that's definitely going to exist one day. Totally, guys, for real, trust me. And this new one I think is possibly their lowest effort one yet, because it's just an island with a golf course that they're trying to re-envision as like.
Well, maybe that's for the rich crippled people. The island is.
So
they can't swim off the island, John.
Well, it's just like the movie The Island, where the only reason that it exists is it's a way to encourage people who are going to be used as organ donors for everyone else. But sorry, that was a not just a deep cut, but a stupid cut.
Very bad movie.
Yeah, bad movie. But I just another image that I had of this child that you're talking about, right? This theoretical child, who's like his calories are measured and everything by I'm assuming a swarm of like nanobots that like drink a little bit of his blood. Bees. Okay, it's bees. It's robot bees. But I imagine, like, because there's always going to be crime, right?
Yeah.
Even child crime, right? Like children do naughty things, right?
Rebellious delinquents. No.
Exactly. And so I'm imagining this like chubby little German kid, like chocolate smeared on his face, because he's been like sneaking it, he keeps stealing it. And of course, because everything is being managed by this hyper intelligent system, and they are measuring his
and
like
by the way, real
stuff.
quick, and then I'll let you finish. This this German kid immigrated to Neom from Argentina, but go on.
Yeah, of course. He has blue eyes. But this the one of the little bots, one of the little bees, drinks a little bit of his blood, measures the like leptin levels and like the sugar and everything.
Other stuff,
determines that there's too much there. And then a swarm of them comes down and just sucks out like 30% of his blood and delivers it to other children.
Yeah. Oh, good. Everybody gets their glucose.
Yeah.
So that's
his name is Heinz, by the way, like the ketchup.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we have for tonight. Danko, would you like to pitch the Truncata pod or workshop?
Both.
Yeah,
both. So the Truncata podcast is we have some more episodes upcoming, but we won't even worry about that right now. But I do plan on talking about a couple of video games, and we have someone coming on to talk about weird extreme art and AI and things like that coming in soon. We have a few things in the works. I'm just swamped doing Benzo Rehab Dungeon, I guess, and nothing else. But this takes the 60 hours of labor a week.
The incredible workload that I give you guys every week.
But anyway, so but we also have the weekly workshop if you're not aware. So that's patreon.com/Truncata, Truncata, and we do literature and philosophy discussions as well as releasing prompts and stuff. We are starting up our new seminar finally, starting tomorrow, kind of unofficially, but then we'll have the syllabus the following week, and we'll really dig into it. But we're covering Walter Benjamin, Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction, which is an essay that a lot of people are talking about. Again, right now, I mean, people are always going to talking about that essay,
in some way to recent.
Right. So we've been having a lot of feverish debates about AI art, which are actually a lot more interesting than I would imagine they would be, because that's a pretty exhausting topic. But we've been having good discussions about it, so check that out. It is currently my one source of income. So hook me up, friends, and join my workshop. And lastly, I was just on Schizotopia. We did our final episode. I think it's episode 4 of the Is Blank the New Schizo, where we talked about normies. But actually, we talked a lot about Woodstock 99, Limp Bizkit. We actually had a little bit of a defense of Jordan Peterson. And also we shat on him a bunch.
I didn't want to call you out on it, but yeah.
But you should check it out. It's a very fun one. You should check out his Patreon. It's patreon.com/Schizotopia, I'm pretty sure. But otherwise, he does release these for free after a little while. So if you're not able or willing to dump the cash, then you can just wait and hear my beautiful voice then. But
Max
also
Max is a
episodes.
good lad, a friend of the show.
Max is great. Max is great. Yeah.
My pitch, as always, the Benzo Rehab Dungeon is and will always be a free broadcast. That also includes the new channel that I'm starting for like building projects and stuff like that. So you're under no obligation to pay for this in any way. However, if you would like to donate to the Patreon, you are more than welcome to. You can give as little or as much as you like. And the link for that is patreon.com/Benzo Rehab Dungeon. We also have a Discord that I would like to see some more activity on. I've been pretty busy because buying a house is possibly one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life. But now that that's basically over with, I would like to start appearing on there more. Used to have some pretty good discussions on there, just kind of impromptu shit that people bring up. Yeah, we still have them, but
They still happen.
I feel like it was more active before. But
Yeah, I keep forgetting we have a Discord.
yeah. So if you would like to join the Discord, you can go to either Linktree/Benzo Rehab. I forget how the fucking it's linktr.ee/Benzo Rehab Dungeon, or you can go to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon Instagram account and just click on the link that I have in the bio there. We have a bunch of links in there. One of them is to this channel, some other channels that we have, and then of course the Discord channel. So all that being said, John, do you have any parting words?
No.
All right. Well, we
No
love
words of
you all.
wisdom.
What?
I said
You
no,
said
no,
no words of wisdom.
no words of wisdom.
Okay, well then shut up. I'm just kidding, John.
Got him.
All that being said, as always, we love you. Please take your medicine.
I got a debone a chicken. Oh, please take mine
That's not
too.
the word.
And
Alright.
make sure you share it with your friends. Share some.
Great, you
What-
guys nailed that.
What a
one.
fucking mess. What a nightmare.